Okay.
That's what happened to Fracastroso in the 1500s when he first made the first clear proposal of germ theory. They laughed him out the building. He ended up going crazy.
You said
What's going on, Cedric? What's happening, brother?
I'm good. Peace, family. What's good?
All right, all right.
what I'm saying. You said that's what happened to who?
Fracastroso. He was the first in the 1500s Italian doctor that proposed the first clear proposal of germ theory. And they laughed him out the building and took us 300 years later before we actually got somewhere.
Wow.
And,
Absolutely. They did the same thing with Einstein
and
some of his proposals initially, right? Because it was so far out of the scientific paradigm, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were like, it was his ideas were basically at the time, just crazy to them, right? So absolutely, that's an example of paradigm thinking, how it could actually mislead you.
Yep, that's it happened to a couple of doctors when perpetual fever was first discovered, and the doctor noted that other physicians who didn't wash their hands, the women got fever and died. Far more women died than when they were with a midwife. So he proposed hand washing, and he was laughed out of the building too. Doctors are gentlemen. We have clean hands, and of course we know today that that germ theory, washing your hands, is essential to proper hygiene. But like Unc always says, there's steps to it. So we needed a microscope, which was discovered by Antoine van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch guy. And then, of course, Pasteur, he figured out that it was pathogen, viruses, bacteria that actually caused illness before we got the germ theory that we have today. And again, observations were made, hypothesis was done, testing was executed before we got to a theory. And of course, theory made predictions. And that's where science is grounded, in those predictions.
Prediction power.
Not prophetic power, prediction power.
Oh man.
Prediction, you going based off the evidence.
Peace, gentlemen.
What's up, man?
Peace, everybody. What's happening?
What's happening, man? Right. Malcolm.
What you doing, Andy? Don't say nothing crazy. Don't say nothing crazy, Andy. Be loud. Don't say nothing crazy.
Hey, I've been steaming all day, man. But
I know.
yeah, I got something for that clown. But yeah,
man, I got you hyped up. I gave you the speech, get you hyped up, because he tried us with that. He did for no reason, yo. We here to do what we do. Yeah.
Oh man, what you talking about?
we're gonna kill him with kindness, and the results of the, you know what I'm saying?
Open up a file.
Yeah, it's what we were talking about the other day, Brenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all. Same thing we were talking about.
Open up a file on the saw. What's his whole name?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
The file came across. Yes.
It's like 1,000 of saws though. Yeah.
Nah, we talking about the saw on Smash Channel.
The practicing astrologist or astronomer.
Astronomer.
Man.
Oh yeah.
You said it right the first time, Brendan. The practicing astrologer. You said it right the first time.
Man.
Astronomer.
Hey man, don't throw no mud on that word like that. That's not astronomy. Repeating what you see on an app is not astronomy, homeboy. That's astrology. You know what I'm saying? Nigga might be able to tell you your horoscope. That's about it.
Yeah.
Be able to do that. I mean, the pseudos give you all the funky stuff. They give you a comparative mythology. They give you astrology, yeah, but they don't give you no actual science. They don't have no epistemology.
Yeah, they don't give you nothing but foolery. That's why it is what it is. I thought, I can't find what I was looking for, man. Let's see what we looking like in the chat, man. What we looking for in the chat, man? What's going on, Malcolm? I see you in the bushes there, Malcolm. What's up, bro? Let me see.
Creeped up in this thing.
Yeah, we got 24,000 so far, but they're creeping up. Peace to DJ Gullah Geechee. Peace to DJ Juju. we was in there jamming Saturday night in the Discord, right? That's why you guys gotta join the Discord, man. We had that we had the Friday night juke joint going on.
Hey, Brendan, I'm offended. Ain't nobody invite me to the party, man.
Oh man, you missed it. You missed it.
I was inspired otherwise. I was busy.
I know, Kent.
Offended.
Hey, Kent, that's kind of cold, because me and you the one kicked that thing off, remember?
You already know, bro.
Oh man.
Damn, look, CK told us to go to our corners, man. She told us, hey man, do that in the music channel, man. Do that over there. That's where y'all supposed to be at.
Right. I didn't know Gullah was such a musical sophisticate, man. He's a man of many talents. So yeah.
Man of many talents.
Man. Of course, Juju was in there dropping some really good jams. Brother Smalls, everybody was in that jamming on Friday.
Okay.
That was fun.
I gotta head on over there, man. I didn't even know the club was popping like that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was popping. Boy, they had that old time in me. Y'all old with that.
Oh man, don't nothing get old but your clothes, brother. Don't nothing get old but your clothes.
I don't know what they was doing over there, bro.
Man,
damn.
I'd have came in there with some gangsta boo in the memory of gangsta.
Boy, I came with them. Well, I hit them.
We could have did that. We could have did that. Yeah.
Hit them with the hip hop, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
hit him with the hip. Hit him with the hip hop. Let me see here what we got. Let's see what we looking like, man. We ready to kick this off or not, man? We definitely ain't stuck, man.
We got almost 30,000 in the building.
Yeah, we at least get 50.
Gotta creep it up.
Yeah, we at least we ain't got the likes up. We got 12 likes, nope. I ain't enough.
Press the like button on your way in. Wipe your feet as you come on in. You're our guest and it's free. Hit that.
Hey, I got a question, man. Has anybody seen the FOPE, yo?
Hey, you can start with that. But there you go, brother.
I ain't
make it make sense. Make it make sense.
I wanted it to be fun. They ain't even. It's almost unfair at this point, man. We ain't getting no fight back. They done called us out and hid. Where they at?
They ain't no
I don't even know who the FOP is.
I don't know either. I thought it, like there was a new group coming up. Thought they was doing their thing, but shit, obviously they tucked their tail, man, and ran, yo. I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, that's such and such now, man.
Yeah.
Such and such. We don't call names over here. We say such and such.
What happened?
I say we don't call names over here. We say such and such.
Oh, I know you ain't calling nobody's name. They deserve it.
They did a whole show on us, so they deserved a little shout out. Trying.
Oh yeah, they respectful though. They deserve you. If you're respectful, not talking about people, families, and all the nonsense, then we do the pleasure. But if you're just a nut, nah, man, come on, yo. I don't support nuts. I don't support nuts.
You just talking crazy. You looking for attention.
Yeah, you looking for attention. Yo. I realize you can't get me. Come on, man.
Ain't about all that.
Yeah, how many times you gonna get us, man?
Shout out to JJ7000. Hold it down, my brother.
Are he in the building?
Nah.
What do you say now?
I say nah, he's not in the building, but I'm sending out the energy into the cosmos and hope the light hits him.
Man, you shouting out Hebrew.
The energy.
Yeah, energy. The hell
energy fluctuates.
Hey, with a file. We got a file on him, yo.
We open up a file on you, sir.
Open
up a file.
If the hint of sarcasm wasn't detected in my
we got you now.
Right?
Oh man.
Nah, we got you.
Hey, for all y'all watching that football game, which that's what it is, it's 9-9.
Uh-oh.
9-9. It's
Dallas
9.
San Fran?
Huh? Yeah, it's 9-9.
Okay.
9-9 in the building.
Yo, but
I
I got a partner that's a San Francisco fan. I don't care who lose, yo. I'm gonna win either way.
Is this like a championship game?
Yeah, nah, they trying to get you the NFC championship game.
This ain't the wild card, it's the playoffs, right?
The wild card is the playoffs, Kent.
I mean, I understand that. I'm saying like this is actual playoff. They ain't no more wild card.
Yeah, it's the divisional round.
The wild card is the actual playoffs, Kent.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
See, this shows you how much football me and Kent watch.
Yeah,
right?
y'all don't watch
none
no
of
football.
it.
Kent,
None
I
at all.
was reason that you mess it up. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm saying I know the wild cards come first.
Nah, man, it's still the playoffs, bro. That's part of the playoffs.
I understand.
Part of the playoffs. Now, if you say it's in the NFC championship game, AFC championship,
I know that. That's when the finals of the playoffs. I understand.
No, the Super Bowl is the finals of the playoffs, Kent.
Man, come on.
Actually,
The Super Bowl is the last playoff game, Kent. Are you serious?
I know that. I'm saying the final when you got the EFC championship and the AFC championship.
The EFC ain't no such thing as the what the hell league is that?
AFC,
yeah, tricky.
hey, look, when you get to them playoffs, that's the championship of those divisions. Of those.
Yeah, you talking about the NFC and the AFC? No, they not there yet. That's next week, Ken. I know what you was trying to say. You said the EFC
championships.
The
of that.
wild card isn't for the last position in the playoffs.
The what? There you go.
Not at all.
The wild card. You don't know football, neither. Yo, they ain't got a football.
They
They got a football team over there.
Isn't that for the last place in the playoffs? That makes the last 18.
That's at the end of the regular season when you got two teams that might can get in the playoff, but they gotta fight it out.
This is not basketball. Yo, basketball where everybody be damn near in the playoffs. Huh?
I watched the Super Bowl.
See, every team outside of the division winners that make the playoff is called the wild card team, and they play the first weekend of the playoff, which is the wild card round.
Okay, thank you.
That was last weekend. This weekend is the divisional round.
Okay.
And whoever wins this weekend, like Unc said, play in the championship round next weekend.
Right.
And then whoever wins the winners of them two games play in the Super Bowl, which is the final game of the season.
Right.
Who's doing a halftime show?
We're doing a halftime show?
Yeah.
Rihanna, I think.
Okay, I want to see that.
Because they just showed a little while ago, so that's how I know that. I don't look at the halftime shows.
Last year halftime show.
Last year that was fire.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, the whole team, that was fire.
Yeah.
All right, I'm right here. I'm talking to my son. He over there trying to play. Not trying. He's like a spectacular lacrosse player. But basketball season's on with. So when you play two sports, he forget how nice he is in that lacrosse, right? So I ain't go to trials. I say, bro, you don't gotta do none of that. They're gonna put you right on the team, dude. Trust me, yo. Man, varsity, huh?
You can get scholarships off of that.
Right. He had a scholarship to a private school. It was actually a Christian academy. When they go, I was like, and it wasn't because it was a Christian academy either. So I know y'all thinking that it wasn't even that.
Yeah, well.
No, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't. What they do now, they give you a scholarship, they red shirt you. So they put you back a year so you can get bigger. That's how they doing it now. That's how they building them powerhouse teams. So, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, the point I'm making is that he don't realize, though, that that's what he do for real in the newspapers and all that. So they ain't gonna make you ain't gotta do the trials, you ain't gotta do none of that. You're gonna automatically be on varsity in your ninth grade. Yeah, you're gonna get a letter, bro. Yeah, you ain't know that. And he don't get it. He like basketball though, but man, he's spectacular in lacrosse though. Spectacular.
One thing I learned about basketball, because I used to play for school and shit. One thing I learned about them is like yo, if you ain't got the height, it don't matter how your skills looking.
Yeah.
You got that height, bro. Hey,
Yeah.
the tall one's gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? No matter how good you is, and you know that's just how it go.
Man, you crazy. When you on the team and you just these little small leg, Mr. Kent. You on
Yeah,
the team, right?
point guard. You feel me? Shooting guard.
There you go. So that ain't true, obviously. It ain't
Yeah.
the size of the dog. How they say it ain't the size of the dog, but it's the fight of the dog. Something.
You know, all ball players, all our dreams is hey, when I make it to the NBA, that's all I.
Oh no, my son ain't man. No.
Hey, look,
My
that's what I
son-
used to tell my grandmama and them. You know, hey, when I make it to the NBA, you gonna have this, that, and the third.
Oh no, we ain't doing that. No, that's something different.
Yeah, you just know that the NBA is a whole different monster. It's like, nigga, unless you about 6'5",
Nah.
like, you might as well not even think about all that. You know what I mean? Muggsy Bogues is a thing of the past. Like, you ain't no 5'3" cats getting up in there no more.
Allen Iverson 6 foot though, yo.
Yeah, but he ain't 5.
Isaiah Thompson, yo. You playing then?
He ain't 5.
Playing.
I don't even think 6 foot people even. You know what I mean?
Allen Iverson, yo. You got Van Bleek, yo, for the Toronto Raptors, yo. Is you serious, yo?
Who
You
that?
ain't guarding him.
Who that?
Van Bleek for the Raptors. Toronto Raptors running chip with Kawhi Leonard. You can't guard him.
Hey, he must be spectacular.
Yeah, my man who kept stripping Chris Paul last year in the playoffs.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Nah, you teaching me something new.
What's the team, on? What's the guy? What's the guy, yo, that kept stripping Chris Paul? Jose Alvarado.
Okay.
Jose Alvarado. He go to the same spot my son go train. Yeah, he couldn't bring the ball up. That's Chris Paul. That guy was 6 foot under.
Okay.
That ain't true, bro. You made that up. You just made it up.
Just saying, man. I mean, yeah, you might
John made it up. I mean, you're right. You're right. But you
Okay.
was short and you made the 10. You played varsity. So you sound crazy.
I'm just saying, man, it's hard, man.
But it's hard for anybody to play sports, though, yo, at any level. That's what people don't get. Hold on.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah, man.
We got 50,000. We had 50,000 now, so we about ready.
Okay, we at the board. We had the 1 second. Give me 1 second. We about to start it up. Somebody shout them people out in the chat.
Yeah, we gotta say it in the chat. What's up, Cedric Ortega? With you, man. What's happening with you, man? Everything good?
Yeah, we good. Shout out Shani. I got Cujo. Yeah, I got a Cujo Atkins battle. I like that name. Allen Iverson is 5'11". Yeah, I played.
I think he was 6 foot.
Ball in Europe.
I think
while I was studying.
he was like 6.
I'm just about 6 foot, and well, I was young, so yeah, I could dunk. And I like shooting, but it was much more fun to go to the basket with guys towering over you. That the satisfaction and finishing to the hoop. Oh man.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I was more of a defensive player myself, man. I enjoy stealing the ball, man. Like stealing.
Frustrating guys, little fly.
Yeah, fast breaks, running straight to the basket.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that was more my style, yo.
It was fun. Juju in the building. Juju, love you.
Juju said my shout out suck, man. Hey, Juju.
42.
Hey, I apologize. I don't even really be looking in the chat like that, man, because I be trying to focus on the junk. But you know, I see you out there, yo. Need to click that link. But yeah, I see you out there, man. Late show, 42.
Mika in the building.
I was trying to think of his name before I even pronounced it. It's like Mizarchi or Mizarki, whatever his name is.
Ika Tucker, the bad mother. Ooh. American Dream.
American Dream, stay in that jump, man. Keep coming
American
back.
Dream, the Black Nightmare.
Troublemaker.
Man, AD hasn't jumped on the panel in a while, man.
Who that?
It's like a American Dream. He hasn't jumped on the panel in a while, man. We're not feeling the love, brother. You got to jump on.
It might be a good thing, though, 'cause, you know, whenever he jump on, it's usually a disagreement. I think he's been agreeing with what we've been talking about lately. You know what I mean?
I guess maybe. I wouldn't count on it, but
You right.
right.
You right. You know. American Dream, though, you gotta turn that camera on at some point, bro. We gotta know who you is, man. We ain't seen you ever. We don't know what you look like, man. So if y'all come on the panel, man, we just ask that y'all turn your camera on, man, so we know who we arguing with. You know what I mean? At least so we can identify y'all, man, and have more of a rapport. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense to argue with people that we know what they look like.
It's hard to argue with the pseudo killers. We all saw stuff.
Yeah, and shout out to the mods as well. It's especially our female moderators, our women moderators. I know you guys take a lot of extraneous shots, you know, being affiliated with the PKs. So, you know, we really do appreciate you guys, you know, holding it down for us, right? Shout out to the mods.
Unnecessary.
Absolutely.
Disgraceful, tasteless type of shots to mods who don't even engage on that level. You know, it says something about you. And around here, there are certain golden rules, right? We're gonna debate the ladies, no problem. But there's no way, and no time do you lose that. That's just
what you say. What?
No way, no time do you lose respect for the females and the ladies amongst us. You can debate them, but when you cross that, or when you break that golden rule, with me, it's over. There's no coming back. That relationship has ended.
Yeah,
such and such.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree with you there, bro. I say when you break that rule with anybody, male or female, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about people's families, you know, trying to lying, like lying, like there's a space for that, and it's called smut, where you just, you know, you make up all kind of stuff. You can be a million miles away, don't really know nothing. It just sound like it could be true. You know what I'm saying? Sound like it could be true. I'm not doing that. Nah, bro, because I'm at a disadvantage, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not willing to do that. I'm at a disadvantage. Come on, bro, I'm live. You gotta get
I think when you do the smut,
man, standing right here.
It shows. Mute out, I think when you do the smut, it just shows that you kind of bitter, and you don't have nothing else. You don't have no other kind of intellectual information to bring. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
Why would your whole thing be based around just talking shit about people that you don't even know personally? Situations you don't know. Make up some stuff. You going to assume some things. Like, why do that?
Yeah,
you know,
bringing information. Like, if you bring information, bring your information and let that be your content.
Yeah.
Like
when we argue their dogma, and we get things like the principles on which they stand, and because outside of science, a lot of us embrace atheism. We are looked at as if we don't have moral compass. Yet those that pride themselves on biblical morality and laws of Ma'at and these principles are the ones that break it the quickest and the fastest. Like it's kind of surprising that we maintain a certain decorum. There are certain places we wouldn't go. We're the atheists. We lack morality. We lack spiritual guidance and a compass, yet we exhibit the highest level of said morality and respect for one another.
Facts. You know, I know.
Something to say about your dogma. I'm just saying.
How can that be, Cedric? You lack a spiritual tradition, right? So where's your moral compass, brother? Where's your moral compass?
Right.
You have no moral compass. So how, you know, your behavior is not guided, you know.
I don't need one. When you
Whether
embrace,
what is this? How scientifically? How does this moral compass work as well? Right. I know how a directional compass, a magnetic compass works. How does the moral compass work?
It's easier. It's easier to claim. It's easy to claim to be righteous, right?
yeah,
Than to actually be righteous, because to actually be righteous means you show some discipline and you kind of you don't just blurt out what you're thinking all the time. As far as the mean shit go, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just different, man. We just different. Man.
Righteousness, decorum, discipline, respect. These are all words that in my opinion, have some synonymousness with each other. And you're holding up one, but lack the other. That's kind of, it's confusing to say the least. It's confusing to say the least.
So yeah, I mean,
Switching a little bit, Cedric. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Cedric going to another. He's
Right.
Cedric a real human being. Oh my goodness.
He doing what the shit Anthony Jones was
Yeah,
doing.
what is going on, boy? Y'all
Oh man, like I want my MTV.
Oh
The
man.
Matrix, man.
Yeah, it cut him off. Cedric Mike was talking too much. Probably talking too much. Let me say this though. So I don't mind heated debates, right? Like going back and forth with Jabari and all that. But I'm not going to disrespect his family, man. I'm not doing that. I'm not bringing his business, whatever he do, I'm not bringing it into the discussion. Think about that. I had plenty of times to throw shots at people's business. I don't do that. You done had people selling pseudo herbs, but it's their business. I don't even say nothing. You know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't selling something that's gonna hurt somebody for real. Yeah, I mean, I ain't tripping. You think about that. But I'm saying is the reality of the situation is, right? People will still support platforms. Watch this. They do all that. And in one moment, and in the next moment, talking about they the most pious. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes no, like I can't rationalize it out. I can't. It just does not. I can't figure it out. Right? I don't. You know what I'm saying? So I realize that it's an uneven playing field for me. Right? You know, we got professionals on the Pseudo Killas, right? And goodness gracious, yo, I wouldn't want them to go through the things I've went through with people just making up stuff, lying thousands of miles away, just making up stuff. Right? You know what I'm saying? I got my kids coming to me. This person said this, that, about that. You know, we go through these things. So I don't want to be the author of that. Now, as far as getting into a heated debate, me, Jabari, fighting back and forth with the information, yo, that's dope. That's what we do. But the moment he crossed that line, right? The moment he crossed that line, then I can't do it no more because I'm at a disadvantage. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm at a disadvantage with that.
Yeah.
And so it's not beneficial for me and the professionals that we actually have, you know what I'm saying, on this channel to be engulfed in that type of stuff. But you know, they bring it to the door all the time. So I'll make a declaration again. If you go to these individual channels, because that's what they're doing, they're trying to build up their channel. They can't do what we have done. They can't do what I did when I first came in here. Yo, I was the exact opposite of the whole damn thing. They don't have that heart, they don't have that measure to be able to do that. To be in direct opposition, right, of the thing that, watch this. When I came into the community, and this is when the show starts, they was telling me that our history was in a comic book. Am I making that up?
That's a fact.
Am I making that, hey Kent, am I making that up? Have you not heard them say, yo, it's our black history's in the comic books. They talking about black people.
Yeah.
How many of y'all in the chat, give me a one, yo, if y'all have ever heard that before, that we found out real history in the comic books. That's the Blue Pill, Red Pill, the Gray Pill, Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, Delbert Blair, all of them. Our history was in the comic books. Dude, that's the environment I came in.
Tell you that the movies is telling your story.
That the movie, hey, go ahead, Kent, that the movies is what?
Like Avatar and all them other movies back in the day, like they say, yeah, you know, they get hidden messages of what your story was for real.
Hello?
Like, yeah.
Hello? What's up?
full breakdown.
Yeah, I'm live. I'm live on the show.
Full videos, 2-hour
What's
videos
up?
breaking down the Black Panther. Or what was it before that one?
No,
There
I
was
saw them in
that we saw complete breakdowns, and this.
No, I think I might have. No.
Hey, you got mute out, bro.
Yeah, I forgot about those movie
Oh, yeah,
decoding,
Elizabeth.
movie decoding videos. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, movie.
Oh, I know.
K to the arts degree. He has a couple
Mm.
of videos.
Hey, Brother Panic. What about Brother Panic?
Oh yeah, he's the occultist. Yeah, yeah.
And it kind of really started, I think, when what's that movie, The Matrix came out, and it really started like, you know, that blue pill, red pill thing started kind of shaking a little bit. And they started using that as a movie that everybody always referred to when they started teaching some law shit.
It was stolen from the Black woman.
Yeah, it was the Matrix. The Matrix had them going crazy, dude.
Oh yeah.
Terminator a little bit too, you know what I mean? But the Matrix was really the one that kind of lit that fire up under that conscious community.
I'm gonna call you back. I love you. All right,
you know what I mean? You heard me?
Yeah.
That's my daggone sister talking about my grandmother. You know how you call your grandmother.
Yeah, you got mute out when you get that call, Nick.
Well, it was a good call. It's right? I'm not disrupting the show, but this is
good. You good.
So my grandmother, she's actually gonna be 100 years old, right? And in a month, right? But who the hell knew that? She kind of forgot, right? She thought maybe she was gonna be 99 or something like that, right? Craziest thing ever, but the census sent something to her house. And we looked at it, it was like, well, she's gonna actually be 100 years old. So my sister was telling me that was wow. Like, we ain't even, like, I got it written down. Like, I actually got a book with all the names written down, my grandparents and all that, my great-grandparents. So when everybody gets slick, I can always go to the tool chest on everybody, because y'all be trying to get slick with me, right? Got all that, right? But, you know, if you call your grandmother Nana, yo, for the last 55 years, yo, it ain't like you gonna know that name. You had to look at it, what? So that was just very interesting to me, man. To me, my grandmother name is Nana.
Yeah. I don't know I was an adult. When my grandmother died, I realized that her name wasn't Mike, because in our tradition, our grandparents are called Mike. And they keep talking about Gloria died. And I'm clueless to who the hell they're talking about, because that's my grandmother's name, but I never knew her name.
Crazy.
Never dawned on me to even ask what her name was. She was just Mike.
Yeah, I always knew my grandmama's name. She got one of them old ass Ethel. She got one of them old ass.
Everybody, hey, hit that commercial, man. That's funny.
Ethel,
man.
Them old ass Southern names, yo.
That's a white person name. You know, all our grandparents most got them white people's name. Even I got white, an all white boy. They was not playing with them African names. We can't.
I got a Glory in my family too. Glory. Yep.
Yeah. Mine's straight up Catholic.
I got a straight white name though. My name's straight white too though, all the way. Middle name, all that straight white. That's funny.
Minnie May.
Oh man,
like Dorothy.
Dorothy. Yeah, my kids ain't got my kids.
Yeah,
that's.
Oh no,
I guess that's a.
I got that on my kids.
Talking track. You know, I was just thinking out
of that's all over the community. You know, that's just
trying to figure out like why they be hating on low. But then I learned, you know, in order to understand the motherfucker, you gotta
share, yo.
Look at things from their perspective. Put yourself in their shoes. That's how I came. They say something to the hood. He ain't had on the stove, he looking too good. Never in the house, fireplace, he burning the wood, riding in that metal every day, it's like he should. Bitch, I would if I could, but I hate that nigga. I hate that nigga, make it look easy like I'm break that nigga. Quarterback like beach, but ain't no fucking saint, nigga. I didn't do it, but I'm mad because I can't, nigga. Look at him, look how he never slipped. You should have killed him long ago. I look how he living to stay. Yeah, but I told struggle. Skinning and grinning, you're feeling nigga might but fuck you thinking Kenny, you got a bad habit. A good stay this arm with his granddaddy named Peter Rabbit. Fuck him. Nigga don't trust him. Yeah, he's solid as steel, but that money gon' rust him. And too many people love him. mean, you know, I understand, goddamn, when a nigga winning, you know, you losing, you know, you kind of be feeling some type of way and shit. You know, I'm like, let's all get this money, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, they continue to goddamn, you know, but that ain't none of my business. But, you know, just me, just that.
Y'all ready for a heavy dose of science tonight?
Yeah, 30 nigga. Act like he ain't heard of niggas. He's scared of niggas. He was raised by the young fearless. When the last time you seen this nigga, then he think he clean. When you pull up on the scene with his feelings, sociopathic. But I wouldn't want my car next to his in traffic, and it needs epic. It's like he's pricing down the fashion. It's like he's packing, and I'm the one that's back and feeding the traffic from it back and up. Hey, hell no, nigga can't be. I ain't even made another chess move I can't see. You probably feel like this Nintendo heater game. And we always talking shit about to be leaked. We never see eye to eye. Nah. Circle small, and he knows he's dividing the pie. I can't lie, but fuck him. Nigga, don't trust him. Yeah, he's solid as steel, but the haters don't come to that to me. Hey, you know. Damn. That's what y'all feel. Shit, I mean, what can I do? I mean, hey, I want us all to eat. You feel me?
Yeah, Brandon, that John sounded
Everybody can't win.
bro.
They gotta be a loser. So I mean, shit. Fuck.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get that. We're gonna have to
You're
perfect.
in the middle of the commercial talk.
Nah, cause it's coming out.
We know we can actually hear it on the run.
Nah, we can't. Like if you hear it on YouTube, it sound crazy. So you know, we'll get it together though. You know what I mean? But yeah, it sound distorted and shit. It sound like I was rapping underwater. But yeah.
Not on my YouTube, yo. Black African Power was good, was happening. A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man, y'all already know what it is, man. Pseudo Killas on deck, and we come to do what we got to do because we're gonna do what we got to do. We standing tall, we standing strong. Pseudo Killas on deck. Clark Kent, man, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's happening with you, man? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just like we heard your song, clear.
Yeah, nah, you. I saw you, Gullah. Nah, that ain't how it was supposed to sound, bro. But no, we gonna get it together, man. Other than that, man, yeah, we right here, man. Like I said, I think the FOP, I think they done got down, pretty much ran off the battlefield. We ain't heard nothing since the first attack, since the first strike. And we still here, man, giving y'all that scientific literacy. We ain't paying attention to the smut. We ain't paying attention to the trash talkers. You know what I mean? We staying focused on our mission, and it is what it is, yo. What's happening with y'all, yo?
Hey, man. Hey, man. Look, man, you know what it is, man. Cedric, the biochemist. What it do? What it do? What it do?
What it is, God, peace to the pseudo killers, peace to the chat, peace to the man himself, the God killer. You know how it is. They say we talking about scientific methodology and scientific literacy, but we don't say which scientific literacy. That statement in itself indicates a problem with your understanding of what we're talking about. Science is a tool which is used to examine reality, for us to distinguish fact from fiction. And over here, we draw a line in the sand between fact and fiction. Let's get it.
Hey, Anthony, man, Space Age African, man. Space Age African Astronomy Club, man. What it do? What it do? What it do?
Yo. Peace to the panel. Peace to the chat. Appreciate everybody coming out. Hope you're ready for the ride. Just want to say, I much rather deal with questions that can't be answered, that can't be answered than some dude who can't be questioned. Peace, let's get it.
Malcolm, what's good, man? What it do? What it do? What it do?
Man, what's up, good people? Peace to everybody on the panel. Peace to the chat. Looking forward to a good, strong show today. Hopefully we'll dispel a lot of scientific misunderstandings by explaining terms and concepts, and hopefully everybody can follow and get, learn something from the show, man. We have to be on the panel today.
Hey, last but not least, man, y'all already know, man, Brendan, he actually holds the file cabinet. Don't let your name come across our desk. He start a file. What's going on, Brendan?
What's going on, brothers? What's going? We back at the movies. We back at the movies, brother. So, peace to the chat, peace to the listeners. Again, set your clock Friday, or I'm sorry, Sundays at 8:00, right? PM. That's our new time for going live. 8:00 PM Eastern time, right? Pseudo Killas every Sunday. We're going to be going live. Pseudo Killas at the movies. It's another episode. Again, we're going to spread some additional scientific literacy, piggybacking off the show from last week, talking about scientific terminology. We're delving into a really interesting topic today regarding the scientific method. Again, like I always say, right? Never put your ego so close to your position that when your position falls, your ego falls with it. So I'm looking forward to the show.
Boy, yeah, you know what it is, man. We up on that, man. Yeah, we're gonna dive right into the scientific method, man. There's a few things. Let me see. There was one thing I wanted to kind of show, but I don't think I want to show it. I think it's when I had a conversation. We was dealing with Neil deGrasse, okay, and there was something that was really important, okay, and we was talking about how. Let's see. Hold on, 1 second. Kind of talk about how science developed into maturity. Hold on. It says the notion, yeah. It says, let me see. It says the notion that seeing is believing, he writes, talking about Neil deGrasse, right? And astrophysics for people in a hurry works well in many endeavors, including mechanical engineering, fishing, and perhaps dating. But it doesn't make for good science. Science is not just about seeing, it's about measuring, preferably with something that's not your eyes, which are, okay, inextricably conjoined with the baggage of your brain. They say that baggage is more often than not a satchel of preconceived ideas, post-conceived notions, and outright bias. Man, so he's already telling you.
That's a hell of a bag, eh?
Yeah, you're in trouble. Like, we just in trouble as human beings, man. And the fact that he was able to cross that threshold is amazing. But let me finish this. It says science didn't achieve maturity until we invented machines, mechanisms, devices that either replaced our senses. I'm gonna say that again, that either replaced our senses, extended our senses, or became a whole other sense entirely. There are things going on out there that our five senses know nothing about. Now, that's a powerful statement right there. That's a real, so let's talk about that statement for a minute then. That's gonna get us to the crust of the conversation. Let's talk about that. What you say about that, Brendan? Because that's deep.
Dude, I always say, one of my favorite words is that the scientific method in science is one of the only tools that keeps this huge Homo sapien brain of yours from fooling you, right? And that's a real serious statement in and of itself, right? Think about it, right? The brains that we have today, right, haven't evolved much, right, from those early humans that were roaming the savannas in Africa, right? So being able to leverage the scientific method, being able to do and have all of these concepts, the testing, the falsifiability, being able to ask sound research questions, sharing data, right? Having chain of custody things in place where you can actually control your experimentation, right? All of these are tools that we've developed over time, right, to make sure that the data and the information that we're digesting and we're ingesting, right, is accurate, right? And that they are a good representation or a good reflection of what's going on in the natural world, right? So I think that was really good insight from Neil. Absolutely.
Yeah, people don't like our community, the African American community, the Jewish community, the Muslim community, European, and all communities aren't quite ready for that and those statements right there. It's not just a black thing. Couple that with 300 years of slavery and losing your culture, you'll get a big mess in front of you. Couple that with the statement. Here's that statement, y'all. Here's that statement. Watch how the statement works against you. The African are the most spiritual. The African American are the most spiritual. Now, we know for a fact that statement works against you when trying to understand the natural world. Because watch this. If the African and the African American and the Black American are the most spiritual, we know for a fact that the sky didn't crack and God didn't dive out there and give them a holy book. We know this to be true. We know that religion and spirituality is an all human endeavor, meaning human beings made up spirituality and religion to explain the world that they was in. Human beings made up science to explain the world they was in. They're both human endeavors. Now, which one actually explains the natural world as opposed to telling you about the supernatural world? This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the rubber meets the road. Go ahead, Cedric.
If I could share my screen just for a second.
I passed you a slam dunk. You supposed to dunk. You're supposed to share the screen. Now you share
And we do have a clip from Neil deGrasse Tyson as well to sort of get us in the mode of talking about science and scientific literacy as well. So once you're done, let's tee up the video from Neil deGrasse as well.
I want to just segue and back up a couple of things that Ankh said. And in this course and in these programs, I'm going to continue to focus on the foundation and the rooting of science. Again, methodological naturalism. Methodological naturalists limit their scientific research to the study of natural causes. Right? Why we don't attempt to endeavor the supernatural? Because it's never fruitful. The results results in the creation of scientific dead ends. We call it God in the gap type hypothesis. Why do we rely on science? Because it uses empirical and naturalistic data. Like Unc was saying, we measured, it is quantified, and it is studied based on what Brandon was saying, a proper methodology, tracing our steps, knowing exactly what is where and how we can do this. And again, we make no claims to truth. It's merely a tool to understand the natural world. Yeah, let me stop sharing my screen.
Oh, indeed.
Sure, indeed. Malcolm? Want to add something to that?
Yes, sir. Good point, Cedric. Good point, and also good point, Brandon. As y'all mentioned, man, scientific literacy is the way, humans, early humans, and even modern humans, we're just basically trying to explain the world in ways that they can understand. But that understanding can only go so far until we created that roadmap called the scientific method to help us to understand phenomena not able to be viewed by the five senses. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, man, in multiple videos, interviews, shows, man, he breaks that down. And for some reason in our, in the country community, scientific literacy or the realm of science is demonized, and it's viewed as being the way of life for one particular type of people in many cases. And so, we see these extreme shifts, not just shifts, but extreme shifts away from science, its understanding and how things function, man. So hopefully Pseudo Killas can get everybody back on track and in the space that we all should be. Safe space called scientific literacy.
And we seen this back before, like even with now, like when they say like the earth is flat, right? People going off of they basic senses. It looks flat, so that means it is flat. Until you get above 50,000 feet and you see the curvature, but the average person ain't going above 50,000 feet. You feel what I'm saying? And that's where science takes you when the jets can take you or the satellites can take you above that to show you, okay, this is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they tell you to rely on your senses, but your senses just go but so far. You know what I mean? You got light spectrums that we can't see. It's just all kind of. But go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, bumblebees, bees see light, see colors we can't even see. We don't even think they exist.
Right.
That's
Absolutely. Yeah. Like for instance, a pit viper, like a pit viper with that hole in the bottom of its mouth, it can actually see light within the infrared spectrum. So think about how it sees the world as opposed to how you see the world. It has a very different perception of the natural world than you do. So absolutely.
Yeah, I think dogs see in black and white. I don't think they see in color. I think apes see in color. I think that's another thing that makes
but the dogs can hear things that we can't hear.
Absolutely.
So if a dog whistles, like
colorblind. They see some color, but not to the extent that we do.
Okay. All right, Anthony, you want to add something to that before we move on? Get in here and me show you his papyrus. Go ahead, Anthony.
Oh yeah, man. Y'all pretty much hit it all. But it's also, plays the scientific method plays a big role in the future, because it's with the future. I mean, with tools, with new tools come new questions. So that just, keeps pushing us forward as long as we get with it. But, it's when you want to rely on your emotions and stuff, that's not a great plan, in my opinion. But the scientific method is going to keep pushing us forward. I mean, it led to these cell phones that everybody's on this YouTube with right now, So it's very important, and it's a great thing to push.
Absolutely. So y'all, ladies and gentlemen, y'all see on the screen because we're about to get into the scientific method. And this is noted as being a milestone, okay, in medicine. This papyrus right here. And you'll see the things in red. They highlight the things in red that are important. I'm pretty sure you biblical readers noted important things, the words of Christ is in red. But right here on this Edwin Smith medical papyrus, that dates back to about between 1900 to 1600 BCE. It's the earliest known medical literature, consisting of 48 case histories. It describes the conditions, diagnosis, and treatment in a rational, systematic way. This is important, right? So, man, noted for the first time in history, meaning that we can actually see is when things start to get rational. So religion, ladies and gentlemen, ain't rational. I just hate to tell you that, right? There's a lot of irrational things that goes on in religion, right? And so let me close it out with this real fast, right? And I always say, get this book right here. This is an important book for y'all, right here, this book. All right, and it's called Magic, Reasoning, and Experience, the Studies and the Origins and the Development of Greek Science by G.E.R. Lloyd. Okay, that's a good book for y'all to get, right? But even Lloyd writes this. He simply says, an Egyptian medical textbook, the Edwin Smith Medical Papyrus, applies the following components: examination, diagnosis, treatment, and prognosis to the treatment of disease, which displays the strong parallels to the basic imperial method of science, according to G.E. So this is like one of the earliest texts that kind of give you that undertaking, trying to get to the position of the scientific method. And I think this is important. And this is so important that they have it in the Atlas of the Human Body, right? All right, in the back of this as a reference. This is this is straight African right here. Regardless of what you may think, how you feel, what you think they may look like, this is Africa at its best. And it's just, you know, the scientists and doctors, man, for them, they consider it to be, look, one of the milestones in history in medical science, right? So African texts have been there as the crust. There's also the Rhine mathematical papyrus. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with the Rhine mathematical papyrus, but real quickly, it says in the opening paragraph of the papyrus, it say, Ames, watch this, presents the papyrus as giving accurate reckoning of inquiring into things and knowledge of all things, mysteries, all secrets. So for him, right, for this scribe, here, take a look at this. For this particular scribe, for the Egyptians, right, for them, they felt like math would be the very thing that would allow you, right here, see? It was out the way. Y'all look at this. Right here, see? Rhine mathematical papyrus. All right, another African papyrus. All right. And for them, math was the way to know all things. And that's very, very interesting because we know within science is a tool. We know that science is actually a tool in science. So my fault, math is actually a tool in science. And we see the slow progression to get you where we at right now. And it's still a slow progression. So, you know, they don't know everything. But yeah, I just wanted to start the conversation off. Since it's about the scientific method, we're going to go to some of the earlier forms, right? We're not talking, we understand the role that the Greeks played in later on, House of Wisdom and all that, but that's not for the show. I just want to give a foundation, you know, of the scientific method and math and how essential this was for humans to get out that place, right, where they're guided by their senses.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's some good insight. And in terms of the scientific method, I think me and Anthony, we were talking about this earlier this week, right? And you'll be surprised in terms of how often we just use it in our everyday lives as well. When we're problem solving and making decisions and moving through the world, right? We're a lot of the steps inside of the scientific method, we just use those intuitively as well. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to get into the movies section of the show here. I'm going to share this. And let me know if you guys see this screen here.
Yeah, we good.
Yep,
and of course, this is our copyright disclaimer, right? Everything that we're doing is covered under fair use for criticisms, comments, news reporting, teaching. Again, right, hopefully we won't get a strike for showing any of the clips that we do tonight. So this is a really good one from Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is sort of like a collage that was put together by a gentleman that I found online here. But this is like a really good sort of synopsis of scientific literacy and the importance of the scientific method. So I'll go ahead and play this. This is about 2 minutes if you guys could actually take a look at this. And let me know if you can hear this. Thumbs up.
When I think of science, I think of a truly human activity.
Hold on.
Yeah, we can hear that perfectly, bro.
Yeah, that's good.
That was good.
All right, hold on just a sec.
Something fundamental to our DNA. Something that drives curiosity. When you're a kid, you're born a scientist. What does a scientist do? We look up and say, I wonder what that is. Let me go find out. Let me poke it. Let me turn it around. This is what kids do. Kids that can barely walk, what are they doing? They're turning over rocks. They're plucking petals off a rose. They're exploring their environment through experimentation. That's what we do as human beings. So what do? We prevent that. We prevent these depths of curiosity from revealing themselves, even within our own residences. You know, we spend a year teaching our kids to walk and talk, and the rest of their lives telling them to shut up and sit down. What kind of environment is that? The goal here is not to make everybody a scientist. That's not the goal. What a boring world that would be. You want artists, you want musicians, you want novelists, poets. You want the rest of this. What matters is whether they're scientifically literate and maintain that literacy and that curiosity throughout their lives, no matter what becomes their profession. People think science literacy is being able to recite facts, and it's not that. It's a part of it, but it's not the main part of it. The main part is, how do you look at the world? What does the world look like through your lens? If you're scientifically literate, the world looks very different to you. It's not just a lot of mysterious things happening. There's a lot we understand out there. And that understanding empowers you to first not be taken advantage of by others who do understand it. And second, there are issues that confront society that have science as their foundation. You can't look at science and math as some separate subject. It's fundamental to what it is to be alive, because it's all around us. And it influences your health, your safety, how you're gonna have to vote, what issues are before you politically. If you're not scientifically literate, it's in a way you are disenfranchising yourself from the democratic process, and you don't even know it.
Hey,
Yeah,
Brendan,
I'm gonna shit.
Brendan,
Yes.
did that man say, yo, when you scientifically literate, you see the world a whole different
A
way?
whole different way. There's not all these mysterious, mystical things that are just happening around you, right? We have methods and explanations for everything, right? Well, let's not say everything, for many things, for many phenomena that we see in the world. That's why I thought this particular video was really insightful, because it does cover a lot of the different things that we talk about on this show. So absolutely. Yep.
Brendan, ponder that one more time. That man just said, ladies and gentlemen, when you're scientifically literate, you're looking at a whole different world. So how much of the world have Black Americans been missing being the most spiritual? I just wanted to say that. That's amazing to me. Yeah, that's a tool we need to give our kids. Absolutely. Pass that down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's delve into sort of the meat of the conversation at this point, right? So we're talking about the scientific method, right? I'm going to go ahead and share this screen again here. And I want you guys to let me know if you can see this. Always do a visual check here. Make sure I'm not.
Yeah, you good.
Okay, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So awesome. So go ahead. We got the QR code here for you guys to actually pull this up. And I think this is one of the explanations from the Khan Academy regarding the scientific method, right? And so what it says, at the core of biology and other sciences lie a problem-solving approach called the scientific method, right? And in this particular context, so this explanation, how it shows it, it says the scientific method has 5 basic steps plus 1 feedback step, or the continuous feedback loop at step 6. Right. So within this particular framework, we're going to delve into each one of the steps inside of the scientific method tonight. Right. We're going to talk about each step sort of in depth. Right. And then maybe at the end of the show, right, maybe some people can come on and jump on the panel. We'll have some maybe some meaningful conversation around each one of these particular steps. Right. So again, go ahead and grab this reference. This is for you guys. And I think who's the first up with the first step in terms of making the observation?
Yeah, that's me, Brendan.
Okay, cool. Right over to you, Anthony.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be brief with it. Observations as far as the scientific method goes, that's really what I delve into the most, being in the astronomy arena. And it's it's really, when it comes down to the observations, for one, it's really all about the tools, you know, and like I mentioned a little while ago, science is driven by the tools that's created. You know, it's kind of like a circle. You know, we like with James Webb, everybody's familiar with the Webb. Well, it's a new tool, but since it's been in operation, there's been so many other questions that has come out of it, and some things that we thought we knew have been challenged by it. You know, now I know people are saying that the Big Bang are wrong. No, that's not what's happening. But there are things that James Webb has observed that has brought on a bunch of new questions, and that's going to lead to new ideas, and you know, so forth and so on. So the observation stage is pretty important because that's where the questions are going to come from. A lot of the questions are going to come from the observational stage. And like I said, delving in astronomy, my tools are the telescopes. So I deal in the visual observations. Now, at this point, I'm trying to get to the level where I can actually use these to do real research. But right now, with what I have, I'm learning, you know, and everybody's welcome to come along on that journey. But I have the tools to be able to bring you results of, you know, or pictures of my observations, in which we're going to get into that later on this week. But the observation stage, yeah, that's where a lot of the questions are going to come from, which is going to drive the technology and the thought processes. So, yeah, the observations are very important, you know, part of the scientific method.
All right. So that brings it over to me, right? In terms of formulating questions and asking questions. Again, Anthony, you talked about it in terms of like those initial observations. That's where your questions are going to come from, right? But in terms of science, right, we talk about asking scientific questions, right? After that initial observation, right, scientists do develop those well-structured questions, right, from a scientific perspective, right? And those scientific questions that they ask, those can take different forms. And the type of question that you ask within science, right, that is what's going to really establish the approach that you're going to use for your research methodology, right? So in science, and think about it, right, this is information that I actually learned in grad school, right, in terms of being able to ask unique research questions in this regard, right? So two of the separate types of questions that scientists ask, right, in terms of the structure of those are called quantitative questions and qualitative questions, right? So I'll go ahead and start out with what a quantitative research question is, right? So a quantitative research question, think about the root word quantity, right? So quantitative quantity. Those are questions that can be measured and solved using mathematics or using statistical methods, right? And those results can be expressed in the forms of things like numbers, visual graphs, reports from analysis of large data sets and things of that nature, right? So anytime you're talking about dealing with things that require mathematical precision, right, those are going to be quantitative research questions, right? And quantitative questions, they answer specific things. So they're answering things about how many of something there is, how much of something, how often something happens during a particular cycle. And I'll give you an example of just a simple quantitative research question, right? An example of that would be, what is the approximate distance between the Earth and the sun, right? Again, that is something that could be expressed in a form of numbers, and that is something that could be quantified. So that would be considered a quantitative research question, right? So in terms of like some of the data collection methods that scientists use when they're asking those quantitative questions, right? The things that they're going to use to gather data around that, right? That's going to be things like conducting experiments, like measuring things like temperature, distance, doing time-based calculations, right? A big part of the quantitative data research method involves things like questionnaires and surveys, where scientists actually can calculate the number of yes or no questions and the results of those. And they also leverage like a ton of technology, right? Things like computer software and databases to actually crunch those numbers and do those statistical reporting, right? So in terms of some of the benefits of quantitative analysis, right? Quantitative analysis gives us the ability to gather a ton of objective data, right? Objective answers using that mathematical precision, right? Now, it isn't perfect, right? There are some drawbacks to doing quantitative research questions, right? Because think about it, right? When you're dealing with large data sets and things like that, it can be very restrictive, right? If you're not careful, because you can lack content around some of the data and some of the numbers that you're collecting. So it's very important to make sure that you're actually bringing context in some of the analysis that you're doing. Right. And again, right. So some of the other limitations is that sometimes scientists deal with extremely large data sets to produce accurate results when they're doing like quantitative research questioning. Right. So the second part, right, or the second research question type is what we call the qualitative research question. Right. A qualitative research question doesn't necessarily involve numerical analysis, right? This is going to be the collection of a ton of non-numerical data, right? This non-numerical data can be collected doing things like interviewing subject matter experts or focus groups that are close to any particular problem that you're trying to solve, right? And one of the benefits of doing qualitative research methods, right? Think about qualitative, that means quality, right? You're able to actually analyze data within its proper context. So think about, within the scientists, people like anthropologists, software engineers, political scientists, social scientists. Those are some of the fields that actually leverage a ton of qualitative research methods. Now, inside of qualitative research methods, you're also doing things like you establish what we call a unit of analysis, right? A unit of analysis within a qualitative study is essentially who or what is going to be the focus of a particular question that you're asking, right? And it deals with, analyzing patterns and themes, things that reoccur within your data sets, right? So essentially what you're doing, you're following where the data leads you within the qualitative study. Right. So think about your analysis and the questions. Those can actually change as you bring in more data and more information is collected during the study. Right. So I'll give you an example of what a qualitative question would be. Right. A qualitative research question could be like, right, how are indigenous populations within South America responding to deforestation in the Amazon rainforest, right? That's like an example of a qualitative research question, right? And things like that could be answered, like, for instance, an anthropologist, they may go out and do an ethnographic study and interview people like tribal chiefs or people who are indigenous populations to gather primary data, right? That's primary data from people on the ground that are very close to the particular problem, right? That's an example how you actually collect information from a qualitative study, right? Another example, like within business, right? You can actually conduct interviews with technical subject matter experts. You're talking about people who are very knowledgeable in a particular subject that are close to whatever problem that you're trying to solve, right? So again, right, asking the questions is a huge part of the scientific method, right? And there's very structured ways that scientists ask and develop questions.
If I can add, Brendan,
Mm-hmm.
for example, in chemistry, in the fields of biology, these are the two questions that we deal with also, quantitative and qualitative analysis. First, is it there? What's there? Quantitative analysis. We want to know if a particular virus or a particular bacteria or a particular element is present.
Absolutely.
Quantitative analysis. Then we have the second question, which in chemistry or in this area of science is what we call a qualitative analysis, in which we use units of measurement. So we want to know exactly how much hemoglobin is in the blood. We want to know if you have an elevated PSA or not, and if it's elevated, how much is it elevated? There is where we have established ranges by the data collected by examining populations to give us the ranges in which we work. So just going to your regular doctor and requesting or getting a blood test analysis, we are dealing with these two fundamental principles of science, which is qualitative and quantitative analysis.
Absolutely. And those questions, depending on how they're structured, right, they have their own methodology for answering, right? Think about in this community, we always talk about methodology. The conversation we're having today about qualitative studies, that's at the core of what true methodology really is, right? And you'll be surprised, right? In terms of like when I was doing my master's thesis at Penn State, right, I had to do a qualitative study. I did a qualitative research study for enterprise. It was regarding enterprise architecture and doing business process optimization for large IT organizations and large IT companies, right? And you'll be surprised how difficult it is to formulate a unique research question. Just to ask one question, right, could take you, in terms of like doing extensive literature reviews, right? Going through and refining your question further and further as you learn more about a particular topic. So this part about asking a question, it sounds very simple, right? But when you're dealing with things, when you get deep into the science at the highest levels, asking a unique question can be very, very difficult.
Yes, because of course, at the master's and PhD level, what you're attempting to do is increase the body of knowledge. And that's a great segue point to one of the issues that we're dealing with in the conscious community. Cats be thinking that they are producing and increasing or adding to the body of knowledge in these YouTube streets. There's a process by which you actually confirm that, and it's going through the rigors of earning a master's and a PhD.
All right, let's go to the next step. Step number 3, forming the hypothesis.
Yeah, basically, and I'm not gonna be as long-winded and as in detail as Brother Brendan. Man, you did that right there. Like I can't even.
With the long one.
Hey, look, to follow that, I'm like, God damn, he went in.
But this is something I had to do. So, this is right up my alley with that one. So
already, man, I appreciate that, yo. Basically, man, a hypothesis, man, once you observe a fact, once you observe a phenomenon that's going on, you want to, like Brendan said, you want to develop questions about why is this happening, right? And then you want to go into, okay, well, it might be this, it might be that. So something real simple, like, okay, you sleep and you hear taps outside. You look at the window, you see water on your windows, right? And so you think to yourself, well, damn, I wonder if maybe the sprinklers is on and they got the windows wet, or maybe it's raining outside. Those are like formulating hypotheses. So your hypothesis is maybe it's raining outside. Then the next step, which somebody will cover on the next step, you go outside and then you see what's actually happening. You know what I'm saying? You testing your hypothesis. But basically it's a testable thing. You can't, it's not a hypothesis if you can't test it. It's based on something that's already, a knowledge that you already have of the natural world. You're not just making something up. And you have what's the other word I was looking for? You got the variable conditions. So say like if what you're hypothesizing depends on other things happening, such as, well, maybe it's windy outside and it blew some water on your windows that you had in a bucket of water that was hanging out. It's just different things that might have been happening outside in the conditions of your home or whatever like that. But basically all it is you looking at that, you developing questions, you developing a explanation for what's happening in the natural world, and you moving on with it in further investigation.
That's what
Absolutely. And the whole idea about, saying, okay, well, it's not a true scientific hypothesis if it's not testable. Right. And so I'm going to give you an example of what we've heard as a scientific, or what was proposed as a scientific hypothesis. But in your mind, ask you, is this really a scientific hypothesis? And what I'm referring to is the idea of the simulation hypothesis, right? The idea, the hypothesis that was put forward by, I think it was a philosopher. I forgot the guy's name. I think it's Boltstrom or something. I think his name is Boltstrom. He says that everything that we know and we see and what we can perceive in reality is really in a computer simulation, right? All of nature, all of reality, everything that we're perceiving really is a computer simulation that is being ran and governed by some outside entity, whether if it's some advanced civilization or something. Is like everything isn't what it seems. But the problem with that as a scientific hypothesis is that falsifiable, right? Is there a way for us to determine, right, if there's some brain in the vat theory, or there's some evil, what we call an evil genius, or some, actually controlling everything? How can we actually test that, right? If we can't physically interact with that outside entity, right? Is that truly a scientific hypothesis? Because in my estimation, I say no, because it's something that can't be falsified.
Oh, indeed.
So it's no better than saying, okay, everything that we see in the natural world is governed by a supernatural God.
Right.
What's the difference between the two?
Right. And like if it can't be tested, hey, it's not you can't develop a hypothesis behind it.
Right.
So it's outside of nature. It's outside of what we can explain.
Right. Exactly.
So that basically, and when you're dealing with these, like we're dealing with these pseudos, man, and basically, what fights to take up. If they talking about some crazy shit that you can't even, my bad, I didn't mean to curse, but if they talking about some craziness that you can't even like begin to start at like the beginning and trying to explain what they talking about, then sometimes it ain't even worth even trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't develop a hypothesis behind it, sometimes there's no need, but yeah,
absolutely.
That's
all right.
Allow me to share my screen for a second. I'll segue into those 2 points that was just made by you and Ken.
Hold on just a second. Let's go through these last few, and then I'll let you pull up your screen if that's okay, Cedric.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. All right. So Brother Anthony, were you going to do this one? I think it's number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I can run through that one real quick. Yeah, okay. Just to, go off what Kent was just speaking on, the hypothesis. Once you get that done, now you get down to the predictions. But with a good hypothesis, you'll be able to have or come up with a good model, a working model. And with that working model, now you can make predictions. And that's what, science is pretty much all about, being able to make predictions. If you can't get any kind of predictions out of what you're pushing, then it's not science. So that should be the first clue. And if you can't get any predictions, well, I mean, if you can't make a model, of course, you're not going to get any predictions. And I don't know if y'all remember, but we did a show maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago on the flat earth stuff. And we presented a live working model of a spherical earth. And out of that model, you can make predictions based on the natural world, which are the seasons and, so forth and so on. So the predictions are really a true way of knowing if the science is good science. So just be on the lookout for the model. If they can't give you a model, then you're not going to have any kind of predictions, because that's where you get your predictions from, which comes from the hypothesis. So yeah, the predictions are very important. If you can't get predictions, you don't have any sign.
Mm.
And y'all can touch on it if you like.
Looking at this Cowboys game, they going down. They going down.
What is your prediction of who the winner?
My prediction is, how about them Cowboys? They going down.
Oh man.
Hey, we went down with a fight though. We ain't lay down. But we ain't give it away.
They went down.
But we hey.
Oh man.
Anything can happen.
They can ready to do the Hail Mary though. And they're on a Hail Mary status right about now.
Oh man.
Oh man, I'd rather get knocked out in the first round, get it over with.
Hey, when it counts, you can get you some money based off your predictions too. By the way, hey,
there we go.
And I think I
You
got
got a working model, huh? You got a working model.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just guess it.
Oh man.
Oh,
man.
man.
Well,
I do like some roulette, right? I do like some roulette. All right, cool.
And to
All right.
Anthony's point, man, he's right. You know, and similar to the flat
Great
earth thing,
Hail Mary.
they don't have a working model. You know what I'm saying? So, meaning that they can't make any predictions with it. So, as he mentioned,
can they do it?
It's not too scientific if you make predictions.
All right, cool. All right, so let's get to the next one. All right, testing the prediction. All right, cool. Is that's you, Kent?
Yeah,
Don't say it, yo. Don't say it. Whatever it is you thought you don't know, don't say it. Maybe we come to the rescue. Tell them, don't say it, they don't know. Don't say it.
Hey, look, no, we got it. Test the prediction. So what we do is basically what you say. You got me cracking up, man.
Get him out of there, yo. Somebody get him out of there, man.
No, look. So, no. You
Let me dive in real quick. When we dive in.
Now you can go ahead and get it if you. I mean, I had some I could think about real quick because
Oh, go ahead then. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna watch this Hail Mary. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You got it.
No, what I'm saying is this is where, remember we always say, okay, I heard what you just said, right? But has that been tested? Where else can we, can we test your prediction? Meaning they got like double blind, like they don't even know where it's coming from, and scientists will go ahead and test that, right? They want to see, can they reproduce this again? They want to see, can they reproduce the prediction?
Right.
Can they do that? And I think that's essential in science, that scientists anywhere on planet Earth can take your data, because we're talking about data, right? And right, can they test the prediction? Can they do that? And I think that's that step right there. If not, then they gotta go back to the drawing board. But go ahead. Well, we tested.
Absolutely, and we talked about we hit on a bit of it, and we hit on this a little bit on the last show. We talked about the whole idea of Einstein and his relativistic effects, that where he predicted that you could actually see a star from behind the sun, right? Due to the relativistic effects, the bending of the light, right? Due to the curvature of space-time due to gravity, right? And actually Einstein, he predicted that you would be able to see this, and they actually tested that prediction during a solar eclipse, right? And that was one of the big things I think we talked about on the last show, and that's an example of how scientists were actually able to predict that all of the data, or what the theory that Einstein put forward regarding general relativity was correct.
Yeah, and so you got George Gamow and Ralph, it was Ralph Alpher or Alpher or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they predicted the existence of the background noise left over from the Big Bang when everything exploded with the blast from radiation, right? And they actually found that background noise, the cosmic background radiation. I believe it was Robert Wilson and Arnold Penzias or something like that. In 1964, of course, y'all know the story. They was looking for, they was trying to help with phone signals and stuff like that. And they accidentally found the background noise for the cosmic background radiation. Got a Nobel Peace Prize for it. It was exactly what the guy Gamow had predicted long before. And that gave, what would you say, there was a smoking gun, Anthony, for the Big Bang theory. So that was one of the predictions that I think was very, very beneficial to, science.
Yeah, that was it, Kent. The smoking gun that they needed.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
background radiation.
And it was something that, we couldn't see, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But based on the science, it had to be out there. Like, this theory is trash if we don't find that. If we don't find that, then, we can't even really, we got to do something else. So, yeah.
But that question led to tools that we were able to detect it later on. Like you said, it was an accident, but we detected it nonetheless. And then that led to more tools like the Max Planck, where we at now, that has given us the most recent version or photo of the CMB. So it's a process.
Right. And sort of what you just mentioned, Anthony, sort of segues into the last step of the scientific method, right?
Real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Real quick. Shoot. What I wanted to say, damn, when you hit me with that, you threw me. That's a good one, Brendan. I had something. All right, so it was two things I wanted to bring up about that. Like those predictions. I didn't read this on the last show. And I wanted to go to chapter 3 in John Jackson's work, right? This is strictly about Charles Darwin, so y'all can know what was actually going on. It says in 1871, Darwin's Considered Man was published, and in this book, progressive evidence was deduced, rendering to show that man and the anthropoid apes could be traced back to a common ancestor. It say most of Darwin's contemporaries judged the continent of Asia to be the most likely the birthplace of humanity. So that was a prediction they was making, that Asia was going to be it. Okay? Goes on to say, but Darwin held that Africa had a better claim to the title of the creator of mankind. It say, now, trust me, nobody was thinking about Africa because that was considered to be backwards. So much so, right? Watch this. Here's that conversation we've been going round and round about, that when they got to Egypt, right, they postulated that it was an outside tribe that came in. That's the invading base theory, right? And that the upper portion of the Nile had these intelligent Egyptians that was there that came from the outside, and the stupid Africans, was in the south. Y'all can read that in a lot of y'all not, right? And hold on real quick. Y'all can read that in book 2 of the Cairo and the Cairo Symposium. My fault, the General History of Africa. Well, this is book 1, but in that book 2, right, where they actually, let me see. Here it go, right here, got it, right here, y'all. See, everybody been playing. Y'all can read that right here. They actually said that, right? Maybe later on, right, I'll read what the 2 theories was. But right there, so watch this. It was Asian, and it was based off of what science thought it was, right, during that time, and the biblical narrative, right? Because in that area, that's where the biblical narrative is, somewhere over there in Asia, the pages of the Bible, right? So it goes on to say, we are naturally led to inquire, he asserts, this is Darwin, where was the birthplace of man? In each great region of the world, the living mammals are closely related to the extinct species of the same region. It is therefore probable that Africa was formerly inhabited by extinct apes closely aligned to the gorilla and chimpanzee. And as these 2 species are now man's nearest allies, here you go. Here's a prediction. It is somewhat more probable that our progenitors lived on the continent of Africa than anywhere else. Right there. That was the scientific prediction. He predicted that later on, more fossils will be found to prove that. And voila, there you go. Also, when we talk about gene 2 fusion, right? They were saying, okay, well, how many chromosomes do humans have? How many chromosomes do humans have? Kent or Brendan or Cedric, how many chromosomes we got?
46.
46. How many chromosomes do chimpanzees have?
48.
Okay, so they were saying, well, wait a minute here. They can't be our ancestors. They got 48, we got 46, right? So if you look up gene 2 fusion was that same thing when they seen that background stuff, that background radiation on your TV screen. Yeah, all y'all is old enough to have them click TVs. That fuzz that come on when the TV cut. See, TV used to stop back in the day, and they play the Pledge of Allegiance and all that, and they go off, and all you see is the fizzle. That fizzle, that shh, is the cosmic background radiation. But the point here is that gene 2 fusion, they was like, well, let's see. What they found out is that those telomeres at the end of that was actually fused together. And they could tell that the telomeres came together because the telomeres usually at the end of the chromosomes, but they see they was actually fused together. And then they say, we see that. The difference between the chimpanzee, you know what I'm saying, and the humans was that gene 2 fusion. And that right there was a point to let them know that we shared a common ancestor.
Mhm.
There you have it. But go ahead though, Brendan, I just want to throw those.
No, great example of the predictive power of science. Absolutely, right? And then again, we'll talk about the last particular step, right? The whole idea that science is an iterative process, right? That this is essentially a never-ending, ongoing cycle, right? So because essentially we never have all of the answers, right? So in new discoveries, as science makes new discoveries, there's going to be new questions that leads to new questions and new places to actually do additional observations. We'll give you an example in terms of the iterative nature of science. This is when Edwin Hubble and his assistant initially discovered that the universe was expanding, right? Because they could actually observe the redshift of the light from the distant galaxies due to the Doppler effect, right? The expanding of the universe, right? That very observation, right? Them being able to prove that begged the question regarding how fast or at what rate the universe was expanding, right? So new observations are always going to lead to new questions, right? Another question was, okay, well, what force, if the universe is expanding, what force or what energy source is actually fueling that expansion, right? So you think about the scientific method, right? It's purposely designed as this closed loop system, right? Where you're going through continuously through observation, questions, you're formulating hypotheses, you're making predictions, and you're starting the entire process over again, right? So that's how we actually develop and refine our understanding of the natural world within science, right? And that's important because any information, right, that at any time we can gather information that both falsifies and invalidates our current understanding of the natural world. So we have to have this iterative process in place, right? That's going to let us actually make those new observations and bring them into the fold in terms of our new body of knowledge, right? So again, we're always making new observations. We have new observation methods. There are new technologies that we're using inside of the laboratory. And of course, we're always developing tools that can make measurements with greater precision. So as those new technologies come online, right, of course, science has to be iterative and it has to be flexible enough to bring that additional knowledge into the fold to further refine our understanding. Right. So that's it. That's pretty much the 6 steps that we really wanted to go over regarding the scientific method. I think we did a pretty good job on that, right? Doing a deep dive. We haven't really talked about that in detail on this particular show. We talk about methodology, right, across the entire community, right? But this was an opportunity for us to really delve into like one of the most fundamental methodologies that we have, right, which is the scientific method.
If I can share my screen,
yep.
I would like to
absolutely.
Hey, I'm dropping. Go ahead, though, Cedric. I'm great. I'm dropping the link so we can get some people on the panel, man.
Yeah.
talk
how
about
to
the
do.
topic, or
I
y'all
wanna-
get beat up on something.
we were just talking about what is falsifiable and why it is important within the scope of science. Falsifiability is the capacity for some proportion, statement, theory, or hypothesis to be proven wrong. The concept of falsifiability was introduced in 1935 by Austrian philosopher and scientist Karl Popper. Right? We see, so right here, we see a scientific hypothesis according to the doctrine of falsifiability is credible only if it is inherently falsifiable. This means that the hypothesis must be capable of being tested and proven wrong, right? In comparison, in comparison to religion, for example, I share my screen again, and then I'm going to tie it all together with germ theory. Now, we have here the when considering unfalsifiable claims, Bertrand Russell used the analogy of the celestial teapot. If a teapot is drifting in space between Earth and Mars, making it unobservable. Here we see that we can't observe it. We don't know, no awareness of it. He claimed it would be unreasonable to expect belief of the teapot based on their inability to disprove the existence of the teapot. Our inability to disprove the teapot makes it unfalsifiable. He compares the belief in God to the belief in a celestial teapot. In both cases, it is not the responsibility of disbelievers to disprove its existence. This deals with two statements that we deal with in the conscious community always, which is we have to disprove the existence of God and the fact that we're dealing with an unfalsifiable claim when it comes to any assertion of God. Now, lastly, I want to tie this whole conversation in with an example closer to home, which is we talk about the cosmos. We're gonna bring it down to earth a little bit. It is the germ theory, right? Now, the theory, as the last slide Brendan showed, it must contain all the aspects of what is going on. So we see here, germ theory was first clearly stated by Italian physician Fracastro in the mid-1500s. Fracastro proposed that contagious diseases are transferable with seed-like entities, which, let me move this over here. Yeah, which are caused by transferable seed-like entities, which we now call germs. Now we know they are called germs. According to Fracastro, germs spread through population, making the people sick through direct or indirect contact between individuals. We see here, now he's formulating the hypothesis. Fracastro's idea, though essentially correct, was disregarded by other physicians instead. Galen's idea of messianism remained the concept, the accepted explanation for the spread of disease for another 300 years. Again, we see here, however, evidence for Fracastro's idea accumulated during that time. So evidence was accumulating to support his hypothesis. Some of the earliest evidence was provided by the Dutch lens and microscope maker Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Now we see we're developing instruments, which goes with the scientific process, which gives us the ability to do better observations outside of the five senses, who discovered microorganisms. By the 1670s, Van Leeuwenhoek had directly observed many different types of microorganisms, including bacteria. Now, more evidence for perpetual fever. Once one of the first physicians to demonstrate that microorganism is the cause of suspicious human disease was the Hungarian obstetrician Ignaz Semmelweis. So now we see we have testing. we have demonstration, we have testing. Similar-wise, in the 1980s, the disease was of perpetual fever, of an often fatal infection of the female reproductive organs. Perpetual fever is also called childbed fever because it usually affects women who have just given birth. Semmelweis observations, you see here again, now we're dealing with observations, observed that the death of perpetual fever occurred more often when women had been attended by doctors at his hospital than by midwives at home. So now he has an observation and he's going to make his hypothesis. Semmelweis also noted that doctors often came directly from autopsies to the bed of women about to give birth. Second observation. So he's now starting to tie these observations together to formulate his hypothesis. From his observations, Semmelweis inferred that perpetual fever, his inference, his hypothesis, was a contagious disease caused by some type of matter carried to pregnant patients on the hands of doctors from autopsied bodies. As a consequence, so now he has his hypothesis, he's going to formulate a testing method. Now he's going to put his hypothesis to the test. Semmelweis urged doctors and medical students at his hospital to wash their hands with chlorinated lime water before examining pregnant women. After this change, the hospital death rate for women who had just given birth fell from 18 to 2%, which was a 90% reduction. Some of Samuel's findings are presented in the figure below. So now he did his testing. His testing provided results which was substantiated by the mathematics, and that is the process, right? So now we have
right, and I see those are the quantitative data results, right?
He published his results, but they were derided by the medical professionals. Now, watch where flawed reasoning comes in. The idea that doctors themselves were the carriers of fatal disease was taken as a personal affront by his fellow physicians. Some of Samuel's peers protested indignantly that doctors are gentlemen and that gentlemen's hands are always clean.
True indeed. Yeah, we gonna try to get some of the people from the chat to come on and join us, man, this time, man.
As a result of this,
my bad, go ahead.
Of attitudes such as this, Semmelweis became the target, pseudo killers, of a vicious smear campaign. Semmelweis had a mental breakdown. And
Said you're working. Said you're working.
Hey, Cedric. Hey, Cedric. Hey, Cedric. What slide was that, yo? Yo made a whole new slide out of nowhere.
Right.
I'm messing with you, yo. I'm gonna give you.
Hey, I don't want to.
Hey, he was going in though. He was going in.
So I was like, the hell with that slide. Hey, yo,
gotta get this off.
That's gonna be our first. That's gonna be our first joint on Twitter, yo. We put the videos up there and TikTok. That's gonna be our first. So I'm gonna cut that section out, yo. Like where you got that in, yo. Hey, Anthony, where you at, Anthony?
Yeah, my bad, Sid. I didn't know you wasn't finished though, man.
You wasn't finished?
I was finished.
No, I'm here.
A second, I thought he was done.
I'm killing right on the money. You didn't cut me off. Knock it out.
Right. Cedric is providing those real world examples, right? In terms of everything that we're talking about. He put a nice bow around the conversation.
Boy,
I tell you.
The OD over there, boy. You had to come get you, yo.
Yeah, I'm here. I heard I couldn't get to my damn phone, but I'm here.
Cedric funny. Cedric had a whole nother show. We was like, what is that? I was looking through the slide saying, is that the slide? What the? Okay, you did your thing. Okay.
Right.
Fella in the building.
Right. Peace. DJ Gullah. Peace.
Anthony. Hey, Anthony.
I heard you in the chat.
Hey, man, your man Cedric made a whole nother slide. Yo, he ain't tell us, yo.
Yeah,
me and Cedric had the conversation in the Discord that he wanted to bring this forward, right? So yeah, we had the conversation. It was just we just slid that in there, you know.
Christ, boy,
Cedric went on a clandestine operation with that one, right? You know?
I'd have gave him my space.
Sometimes you gotta, you know, sometimes you gotta jump out the tank and go on a mission alone, right?
Yo, he jumped out there. He had on his Navy SEAL outfit. Came back dirty. I was like, man, Cedric, the hell? I'm looking on the thing. I'm saying, is that part of
is that in the attack plan?
I said, what the hell's going on?
We weren't briefed on this part of the operation.
I said, did I miss the meat somewhere?
I was sanctioned by the strategy office. When the tanks were firing, hit them with a sniper.
You had the green light, Cedric. You had the green light.
That was G14 classified, dog. That was.
Oh man, you didn't have a need to know that we was gonna do that. You didn't have a need to know.
Cedric was like Kobe and Jordan in the motherfucking fourth quarter with 5 minutes left. Don't nobody ask for the ball. They give them the ball and get the hell out the way. We had to get the hell out the way. Cedric he's shooting. He got the green light. He ain't gonna breathe. He's shooting. Boy, I tell you. Hey, Gullah, what's up, bro? What it do, man? Oh man, Gullah phone don't work. You talking? Working?
No. What's good?
Yeah, well, we hear you. I was checking out that Nubian show that you did last night. I was watching the replay this morning, bro.
That was kind of fire.
Yeah.
Gotta take his ass to school. Me and the Goals, we kind of jumped paying after exams on that stuff.
Yeah, man. What do you think about the show, man? What do you think? We're trying to bring forward these scientific topics to the community, bro.
Pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm loving these type of discussions, man. This is the type of discussion we need, right? It's necessary. People really understand, you know, the actual method. Because when we say science, I know it go over a lot of people's heads.
Absolutely. And you said these are topics that, you know, you would have these conversations in a science class in high school or even in an undergrad college class, right? So it's been years since I've actually delved deeply into the steps of the scientific method. I think I took a biology class freshman year of college where we really delved into it, right? So this was refreshing. It was something that sort of brought this back top of mind for me, right? Especially when we're having these particular conversations, because it helps us sort of vector our thoughts, right, regarding some of the stuff that we're talking about, right? Especially when you're talking about debunking pseudoscientific claims and things like that. It's good to have this type of information in your tool belt. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And you actually understand. You actually understand. My bad.
A lot of people just forget, you know what I'm saying?
Say it again, Gullah.
Go ahead, Kent.
I said we get introduced to the scientific method in elementary school. A lot of people just forget, you know what I'm saying, as they get older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's very elementary stuff, right?
Right.
Right. But when you get into the details, but it can be quite detailed when you delve into it. So absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Well, a lot of times though, it's the belief that our elders force on us that just kills our critical thinking skills at a very young age. You know, but most kids are very inquisitive by nature. I mean, prime example, I know a lot of people that went through this. You have a child that asks a bunch of questions. And what we do, stop asking all them questions. Don't ask all them questions. You know, that's just killing the critical thinking, you know, going forward. Because now you get people with a bunch of questions inside that they don't want to answer because they don't want to hear, don't ask me no questions. You know what I'm saying? And it's instead of encouraging some research, especially in this day and time, man. I see kids, my grandson, 5 years old, dude, and can operate a cell phone. Well, guess what? He knows what Jupiter is. He knows what the moon is as well. You know what I'm saying? He knows other things outside of playing a game on his phone, and he has a telescope, you know, and we went in on it last night, you know. So they can learn, but it's our belief that pushes that kills their critical skills. You know, the
Right.
adults would don't ask all them questions. I hate to hear people tell the kids to stop asking questions. If
Mm.
you don't know, why don't you help? You know, because you can be
Great
learning
point.
something as well.
I'm
You know what I'm saying?
I can speak from experience, yo. That happened to me back when I was a kid, yo, just asking questions about, you know, just the world, the universe, how did we get here type shit. And like you said, the just being told, well, you know, God did it, you know, and what happened to God? How did God get here? Don't ask too many questions. You know what I'm saying? And then they say the person that asked too many questions went crazy at some point in your life. You know what I'm saying? They say that shit. So, you know, religion
Yeah.
religion for me was very much a hindrance in understanding the natural world, to the point where, you know, I was even told evolution was evil. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, like just bringing it, like, you know, we learn that in elementary school. We do learn that in elementary. We learn that in middle school and high school. But when you already set with the template that evolution is evil, the Big Bang is just a way for science to try to erase God and shit like that, it sets you on a path and not even really knowing how to understand reality. You know what I'm saying? So what we doing is actually, even though we're bringing back like scientific method that we learned back in elementary school, middle school, this, that, and the third, there's adults that need to hear this now that can actually start to, you know, work out them childhood pseudo-wisdoms that was forced upon them, and actually be able to understand this new shit. You know what I'm saying? Understand how the world really works. So yeah, that's just my little testimony.
I was I was in Sunday school in elementary. Like when I you know, my grandmother made me go to Sunday school or the summer camp or whatever. I always stump them because I always ask about the dinosaurs. Like, okay, where did dinosaurs come in? Come
Right.
on, Adam and Eve. So I know about the dinosaurs. What they get? You know.
Again, a question being raised, especially around this series that we were doing. We teaching scientific literacy, but which kind of scientific literacy? We teaching scientific scientific methodology, but which methodology? Again, science rests on principles, and it's a tool to understand the natural world. If I may just for a second share my screen again, I want to refocus on our attention on the significance of scientific literacy. It says here, scientific literacy is important because it helps in making informed decisions, assist in a better understanding of the risk-reward ratio, as well as helping promoting and achieving scientific literacy. Scientific literacy plays a crucial role in making choices related to health, take your vaccine, nutrition, no Dr. Sebi, and the environment. For instance, we are often constantly challenged with environmental issues related to our planet. This concern for our surrounding influences personal preferences, such as choice of detergent. Most of us don't know the chemical makeup of a detergent, how it works, what we should use, what we shouldn't use. Most of us still use phosphate-based detergents because they're simply cheaper, but they're not best for the environment. But that's Chinese at this point. Context that concepts of science to conserve, recycle, reuse, and reduce becomes meaningful. Scientific literacy thus empowers individuals with critical thinking. Some of the arguments I hear is evident that critical thinking is lacking. On one side, you claim that science is nonsense and that you're rooted in religion, and religion is naturalism and understanding the earth and the mother earth and the sun and all of this, but you exclude science from that endeavor. This makes no sense. It shows irrationality. And on the other side, you can discredit and break down every religious concept that is out there. It's pseudo, it's nonsense. Jesus didn't exist. So how can you say that on one side and on the other side claim that religion is necessary and fundamental for the best interests of our people? Thus empowers with individuals with critical thinking to inquire, involve, discover, and conclude the best possible solutions. All these conversations about what is best for our community and where we're going and where we're not going, and none of it is based in scientific literacy. So what solutions do we possibly think to achieve without being firmly rooted in science? Are you looking for?
Well, let's see if we can get anybody on the panel, man. If not, we need to got close to that time, didn't we? Let me see.
Yeah, we're about 2 hours in. I think we're at a sweet spot.
Yeah, we're at a sweet spot, man.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Anybody want to come on, man? Add something to the discussion. Talk about something else. Got the cannon loaded right here. got the cannon. The cannon. We can tell who is where. You got Reggie. You got blase, and everybody make claims there, bro. And we got them right here, and we can read them.
I got all 8 of them.
That's another one you need in the artillery, right here. Now.
Claims. Yeah, we got the claims here. That 2-year conversation, Kent.
Yes, sir.
2-year conversation, man, Kent. Don't make me read the 2 claims. Nobody actually ever read it. I'm gonna say this again. Watch this. Nobody has actually read what the claim was in 1974. And I bet you if I read it, that everybody that was having this discussion is going to fall somewhere in there. As a matter of fact, I guarantee you that people that's arguing against each other, they're going to incorporate pieces of both claims. I bet you.
Yeah. I would say, I got all 8 of them. The general history of Africa.
Oh man.
Brendan, what do you say
all
about
8 of them, bro? I got the physical copies and I got all 8 of the digital copies too.
What you always say about the dangers of ideology?
This shit, yo. Yeah. But how is it that y'all been listening? Watch this. We're gonna end the show with a bang, with some mania. We got 2 seconds of mania. We're gonna end with this. I'm gonna do a whole show on this though. Now, the Symposium on the People of Egypt, right? Let's see. We come right here. Hold on. The summary of papers. So you know they actually sent papers, right? Hey, Brendan, put me on the clock. Start the clock. 1 minute. I got 1 minute.
I got you.
1 minute. Yeah, we ain't gonna do this. Hold on. Let's see. So let's see. In spite of recent progress in physical anthropology, it had so far been relatively little reliable data in Nubia. It information available was insufficient to enable, provisional conclusions to drawn with regard to the peopling of ancient Egypt and the successive phases through which it may have passed. It furthermore, the information was not homogeneous as regarded to either time or space, and histories often disagreed as to how it should be interpreted. Let me move right here. It a number of regions had still not been studied in depth. It this applied to the entire Delta. They ain't had enough information on that during the pre-dynastic and proto-dynastic periods, and Upper Egypt prior to Neolithic time. Little was known of this area between the second and the sixth cataract in Neolithic and proto-dynastic time. Similarly, the links existing in ancient times between the Sahara, Darfur, and the Nile has yet been studied. Now in 2023, those areas got more research on it, right? So things have changed. But watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna read the claims. Hold on. I just want to read the 2 claims and get out of here. Hold on. I'm gonna read that. Because they was basically saying that people was coming in, okay, we're going to the exclusion, the zones prior to the Bible. Hold on, block, we got Uganda. Hold on, block, historical research, balance. Okay. Man. Okay. Outline 2. Okay, here you go. C, the outline of the two opposing theories in their most extreme form. Now watch this, y'all. 1, now listen for this. Y'all gonna know who to put people at. It says, the people who lived in ancient Egypt were white, even though their pigmentation was dark or even black, as early as the pre-dynastic period. Negroes made their appearance only from the 18th dynasty and onward. So even back then, with the most extreme theory, they were still saying the Negroes made their appearance in there, the 18th dynasty, about 1550, something like that, you know what I'm saying, and onward. So even back then, they were saying it was Negroes there, right? So what side of the fence do some people fall on? Watch this. It say, from the proto-dynastic period onward, according to some, it say the population remained the same. Listen closely. Others believe that foreign penetration into Africa, back migration, right? Listen, foreign penetration. Hold on. Some believe, that foreign penetration into Africa profoundly altered the conditions of cultural life. So that's the first theory. You heard it right, Brendan?
I hear you.
You heard a lot of people incorporate those different pieces of it, right? Now watch the second theory. Now they say these is extreme. Now watch this. It says, ancient Egypt was peopled from its Neolithic infancy to the end of the native dynasties by Black Africans. Now, who does that sound like? So there's your two competing theories. We've been arguing for 2 years and nobody actually read the two competing theories. And as we listen to the two competing theories, we see that both sides, right, or three sides, however it is, they take bits and pieces from each one. Now, ain't that a trick? My, oh my, oh my. I'm gonna end the show with that. With tangle where we weave when we practice to deceive. Funny. Anyway, Brendan.
It's the picking and choosing. It's the picking and choosing that we talk about. I tell you.
Picking and choosing.
I'm
gonna take a piece from here. I'm gonna take a piece from there. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Mediterranean. We heard all that.
I'm gonna just fill my basket with foolery.
Look, and this scientific committee called those two theories extreme, ladies and gentlemen. I ain't even read the conclusion. Everybody always know, but I always went with the conclusion, with the experts. That's what I did. That's always been my stance. Day one, right? With the quote unquote conclusions that they came in 1974. The Nile Valley was inhabited, right, with indigenous African people ranging from light to goddamn dark, different phenotypes and all the above. That was the conclusion. Nothing else added to it. No, nothing. I've stood on that from day one. I ain't mixed two things together. I never did none of that. I stayed right there. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad y'all tuned in, man. Y'all should have hit that link, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Man, I appreciate that. I see you, Juju. Man, what's this? Chaz D. Chaz D. BHA. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know who that is. Casimir, what's going on with y'all?
Cujo. Peace, brother. Peace, Virginia.
Fire Knowledge, what's going on? Peace out. Appreciate you, man. Battle, I see you. TK Digital, y'all know what it is, man.
Metro, Mr. Metro. Peace, brother.
I on Silent 77. Yeah. Man, appreciate everybody coming through, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the show, man. Babylon Dunn, he always misspelled the name. It's Babylon, yo. Read his comment. What did he say? He say, I teach to counter intelligence. Hold on. Let me start over again. I like that. Watch
I
this.
read that one. I read that one earlier. What is it? Go ahead.
Pseudo statement. Watch this. I teach to counterintelligence, counterfactual, counterintuitive, which you cattered for the title of the last HOK. How you did counterintuitive?
That sounds like confusion to me, man.
Okay,
Man, that's the Mad Hatter. That's the Mad Hatter.
Damn,
Hey,
He in the rabbit hole.
Counterfeit.
Man, he in the rabbit hole, ain't he?
Man,
Hey, that sounds like one of them drunk philosophers. That's what it sounds like.
That's a counterfeit statement.
He the counterfeit statement.
Thinking the weird way he was giving a compliment. I don't want to quite. Was he?
No, that's Babylon done. You know,
Molly of Babylon.
Theory, and he conflates and continuously makes it seem as if a scientific theory is a colloquial idea, a hunch. That's that Babylon done. This is Babylon done, who tries to undermine science by not even using the proper definition. But you see how we arming our people over here. Your claim is unfalsifiable.
And that's the thing about this internet we have here, man. You know, I'm gonna share a video with y'all in the back chat. But basically, scientific literacy, man, it saves us from the internet. Y'all might have seen that already, but when people just throwing in made up shit, man, like he just said, I counter and like, how do we follow that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh man, you got drink first.
Like,
did y'all see that video I put in there, Kent?
Which one?
From UNESCO with the sister.
I probably did. A while back, you sent it on.
No, I did it today. Oh man, they talking about the whole Egyptian thing. She go around Africa. They talk about different things in Africa, and they come to Egypt and they talk about that, man. And they got that video camera rolling. Yo, did you see it, Brendan?
No, I saw you put it in there. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh man, they got that video camera rolling, yo. They got it rolling, yo. And depending on where you at, you know what I'm saying? The people are light, you know what I'm saying? They're a little light, right? Yeah, you know what I mean, they looking like Brendan complexion and my complexion. They looking like us, right? Then they go down a little bit farther, yo. Then you start seeing people. You be like, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? It's wow. That's a wild one. And the lady doing it, she's actually in Sudanese.
Yeah, this is the BBC clip that you put in there.
I seen that whole series. That's a whole series. That's
right.
Yeah.
We have a guest on the panel,
that was
Mr. Conscious Conqueror.
Conscious Conqueror. Peace.
On the vaccines and mRNA based vaccine science.
He got the source this time.
Before you go to the vaccine, what do you got to say about the scientific method, Conscious Conqueror? Vaccines and all of that other stuff. If you're on the panel,
peace. Go ahead.
What you got to say about the scientific method?
You all hear me clear, right?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you climb. We hear you climb on.
All right, bless up. Yeah. Shout out to Cedric Ortega, man, fellow West Indian. All right, cool. Well, you know, I come to talk about the V, you know, and the science behind the proof that the vaccines cause a lot of adverse events.
Before you get to the vaccines, we gotta hear your thoughts on the scientific method. That's because that's what the show is about. So before you get into that, we just want to hear what your thoughts was on the show.
Oh no, I totally agree with the scientific method. Of course, that's
so if you agree with the scientific method, then you rock with vaccines by default.
No, why would you say that?
I mean, because they follow the scientific method in order to develop these vaccines.
Well, I'm talking. Sorry. I didn't make myself clear. I meant the COVID-19 vaccines, not prior flu vaccine.
But they followed the method to come toward those results. They followed the roadmap of scientific method to even create that amazing discovery.
Well,
mRNA technology.
Since a couple of days ago we had a discussion, I was doing my own little research. I didn't quite really get everything organized as yet, but I can let you all know there's a list of doctors that are on my side of the spectrum. A lot of doctors.
Can we get the names, please, sir?
Dr. Paul Alexander,
Hold on,
Dr. Carrie
before you name the names, right? Hold on, before you name the names. Hold on, Conscious
Petrevsky.
Hold on, Conscious Conqueror. Science, even if you find a scientist that says what you're saying, that doesn't mean the science is wrong. The scientist could be wrong, but it doesn't mean that the data is wrong. You gotta show us data that backs up what you're saying.
Well, what about testimonies of people that have adverse events
give us
from
one
taking
name.
the vaccine?
Just give us one name. We want
one name of what? The doctor, the scientist?
One doctor, yeah. Let's get
Dr.
the name.
Paul Alexander.
All right, hold on, slow down.
Alexander.
Hold on, slow down. Dr. Paul, let's see, P-A-U-L, Paul
E.
Alexander.
And he's a Trinidadian too, so shout out West.
On Trump administration.
Like I said, I mean, you still got to give us data that
they have VAERS. You know, you ever heard of VAERS?
Okay, hold on. Oh, damn, yo.
What is that?
You got the VAERS. You know, I just did a presentation on that yesterday.
You got the rabbit.
Yeah, I'm go right to it. Here you go. You ready?
Yeah, all right here.
Okay,
He's over the Trump administration. That's just one of them. There's many more.
Somebody put a rabbit in there, yo. Who did that?
We know the rabbit hole.
I am
in Wonderland.
I literally can't do this discussion again. I can't talk about how incorrect it is to use the VAERS. You started off by using anecdotal accounts, which we can't corroborate. And even if these claims were made, how were they substantiated? Was the scientific method in use? These claims all based simply in not understanding what a vaccine is and the principle that the mRNA or a traditional vaccine, there is fundamentally nothing different. It's like the cars that use a carburetor versus cars that use fuel injection. Better technology to produce the exact same result. So these arguments are not rooted in anything fundamental.
You ready, Cedric? Are you ready, Cedric? Cedric, can we read the first guy, Cedric?
Man, that dude gonna show us it's gonna be a coconut doctor and some coconut science. It's gonna be some coconut science.
Y'all funny. Where you at, Cedric? Can you see the screen? Is this the guy? Is this guy we're talking about, Paul E. Alexander? Am I correct?
Yeah. Dr. Paul E. Alexander. Dr. Paul E. Alexander.
That's not him?
Yeah.
That's
it.
wild.
That's him. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, he's a wild guy. Go ahead, Cedric. Can you read that, please? We're gonna take on one guy at a time.
Paul Elysius Alexander is a Canadian health researcher and former Trump administration official at the U.S. Department of Health.
Can we stop for a minute, though? He's just a what, though? He's a health researcher. I don't see him being a doctor, bro.
Well, that's the wrong person then.
Oh, well, you keep reading it, though, because he sound like your guy, though. Go ahead.
That's his guy. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, during the COVID-19 pandemic. Alexander was recruited from his part-time unpaid position at McMaster's University to serve as the aide to the HHS Assistant Secretary to the Public Affairs, Michelle Caputo, in March 2020. In that role, Alexander pressured federal scientists and public health agencies to suppress and edit their COVID-19 analysis to make them consistent with Trump rhetoric. Within the administration, Alexander advocated for a strategy of mass infection of the public. Stop. What?
Man, just keep reading, man. So we get
Just tell me if you want a next doctor, a next
Build
doctor.
herd immunity.
He say he want the next doctor now. He don't want to do this one.
You don't
no more.
want that one?
No. That's I just show you one doctor that
No.
That's on
Next-
my side of
You
it.
don't want-
That's just one. There's
Okay, we're
many,
just
many
going
more.
one at a time. Let me finish. It
Okay.
said Senator Trump advocated. Go ahead.
Yeah, in a mass inspection of the public with COVID-19 to build herd immunity. He sought to monitor federal scientists and public health agencies to prevent them from contradicting the Trump
Administration's political talking points.
That's your man,
I can
right?
read it for you. That's one of the doctors. You all said have no doctors.
playing with
I'm
that
sure
one,
you
right?
have
Amen.
doctors.
Amen.
You all said have no doctors.
Came
I'm
under
sure you have
scrutiny,
doctors.
months-long effort to exert control over public messaging of scientists and he's a wild guy. You sure you want to use him?
Yep. What the next one? Dr. Zev Vladimir Zelenko. Look up that one.
Oh man, that's a long one.
Wait a minute.
Dr. Zev Zelenko.
Oh,
That's the guy who was
man.
back in hydrochloroquine.
Wait.
Oh,
Conscious.
man.
You cannot run past that stop sign.
Hold on. Let me
It's
show
not a
you.
stop sign. The guy's official.
Wait. Everybody stop. Look, I figured it out. Look, here you go. Look, my fault. The dude ain't a doctor, but look, on a YouTube video, they call him Dr. Paul. Why the CDC pushes lockdowns. See, that's the same person. So we call this a quote unquote what, y'all?
Conspiracy.
Yeah. So he's not a endermologist.
No,
he's not that.
Epidemiologist, yeah.
Epidemiologist always mess everybody. He's not actually that because we went to his thing.
Listen, his brother's in politics in Trinidad. His brother has a political party in Trinidad.
So we got something wrong? Help us out. What we doing wrong? Help us out, bro.
He's known as doctor down here. So I don't know what Wikipedia have, but he's a doctor.
The doctor, nobody said he wasn't. But
wait, Cedric, slow down. Are we on his Wikipedia page? His Wikipedia
His
don't
brother
know?
runs a political party in Trinidad.
Okay, I'm asking you.
This one used to work for Trump and them. He was inside. I think he's over the CDC as well.
Part-time assistant professor at Manchester. Come on, dude.
Listen, I have a list of 10 doctors I can give you all back to back.
Oh, we got the one. Hold on. I just want to say, hold on, slow it down, bro. It says hosted the show, the scientific subject. You see, Capito, who has no scientific background, said the interview for President Donald. Man, whatever, man. We ain't doing this, man. Dude ain't though.
Yeah, but he's a doctor. He's a doctor. You all keep saying I have no doctors.
He's not a doctor.
Said I have no doctors.
I'm not arguing with you.
He's
He's a doctor on YouTube, yo.
All right, okay. Dr. Zev Zelenko. You win that one. Dr. Zev Zelenko.
Okay, me fine. So we're gonna get him out of there. So Cedric, he's out of there. We're gonna get him out of there. Give me the next one.
I'll give Dr. Zev Vladimir Zelenko. When he died last year, June 2.
Dr. who?
Dr. Zev. Dr. Z-E-V.
What I want
Dr. Z-E-V.
Hold on. Dr. Z-E-V.
Space. Vladimir. V-L-A.
V-L-E.
D.
D.
I-M-I-R.
I-M-I-R. All right, let's see if you do better here.
Well, Zelenko, but they might get it with that.
That's a Vladimir.
What's the point in bringing him
up? Oh man, no, we want to keep bringing them all up.
Bring them.
I want to ask him what's the point of bringing them up though? Like what's
told you already? You forgot, Ken? You already told you.
What's the point, bro?
You forgot.
The point is there are doctors, qualified people who are professionals in this particular field, and they're saying that these vaccines are causing adverse events. And they're not doing what they're supposed to do in the first place.
Okay, is this your guy?
This is the guy, Vladimir Zelenko. This is the
let's see. Hold on. Where you at, Cedric?
I'm right here.
Come on, let's read it. We're gonna take his guys. Slow. We're going to slow walk
was
off
an
the
American family physician also known for promoting a three drug combination of hydrochloroquine, zinc sulfate, and azithromycin as part of an experimental outpatient treatment for COVID-19. Called as the Lenko protocol.
Brother, stop. You got to be quiet. We're reading your sources, sir.
Hold on. You do know that adverse, what do they call it? Adverse.
No, we don't want to go there, Kent. Why are you doing it, Kent?
I'm saying so we can have a.
But no, we right here. We taking his doctors he's using right now.
Go ahead. I just wanted them to know that adverse reaction is a part of the whole shit. But go ahead.
No. What the discussion I had Kent with them, the guy named Preem, he said it have no side effects to the vaccine. His boy Preem said that have no side effects. So let's go.
Go ahead, Sergeant.
Lensko was an American family physician. Again, a family physician. So he's not a virologist. He's not an epidemiologist. He's not specialized in the subject. And an author known for promoting a three-drug combination of hydroxychloroquine, zinc sulfate, and azimacin. What was that?
Tromycin.
As part of an experimental outpatient treatment for COVID-19 that he called the Zelensko protocol. Also promoted unfounded medical advice. Now we got two things here. Experimental means that he didn't get past the trial phase. So he couldn't use experimental as a claim for a treatment. He's not using the scientific process. He's not using the methodology that we discussed here today. So let me continue.
Alternative medicine.
Let me continue. He also promoted unfounded medical advice. Now,
alternative medicine.
Unsubstantiated, lacking empirical data.
That's like giving you fruits instead of Panadol for your cold. It's herbal medicine.
No, we're not going to fight through it. We're going to finish reading, then you can have a fight. We just want to deal with your sources you're using.
I just ad-libbing.
Okay. Yeah, please don't do that.
Ad-lib conspiracy theories.
Don't do that.
What do you got to ad-lib conspiracy theories, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Okay, we're about to find out. Go ahead.
I bring in your facts and I bring in your real.
Okay, Cedric, you're not a conspiracy theory. Go ahead, Cedric. We believe you. Go ahead, Cedric.
Medical advice. So as I was explaining, like we've learned tonight, nothing can be
Cedric, can you read the damn thing? Come on, yo.
Conspiracy theories.
Oh, stop, Cedric. He just said he doesn't promote that. But the guy he's showing is promotes that.
Saying. It's not Wikipedia.
I'm not listening to you.
You feel Dr. Zev would say he's a conspiracy theorist? You think he would say that? Obviously not.
Most conspiracy theorists don't think they're conspiracy.
Right? No one would purposefully, identify as a conspiracy theorist. Right? And keep in mind, there is a source, right? That one there that you see in brackets, that's a source for that claim. So,
right,
you got to be careful.
Here you go. Oh man, what that source say? Oh man, say it ain't so, Joe. Oh man. That's Derek Doctor.
Got him on video.
Conspiracy theories.
Who is saying this? Man. Who is saying that?
Your guy.
Oh man, bro. You got us on a video. Oh man. Okay. Right now, yo. We're gonna stop right anyway. It goes on. This information about COVID vaccine. So listen, he's promoting misinformation about COVID vaccine.
That's what Wikipedia has.
COVID-19 vaccines. Look, Zala published an open letter to U.S. President Donald Trump where he claimed to have successfully treated hundreds of COVID-19 patients with a 5-day course of protocol. Zeliko's treatment protocol quickly gained notoriety, say with several right-wing media figures of various Trump administration officials promoting it, including Rudy? What's this?
Giuliani.
Rudy John. Oh man. And then the White House chief of staff. So man, thank good. Hold on, man. Let's do this, man. Listen. Wait a minute. All I can say is thank goodness for science, Brendan, because the president would have got us, left his own devices. Mayor Giuliani would have got us, and these two quacks he done sent us already. Now you quacking twice, bro.
Wow.
Do you want to give us one more person?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
one
told-
more.
I told
All
you
right.
I could do some
All right.
We got one more doctor.
coconut
Hey,
doctor.
Ken, then we can get into the VAERS. We can explain what the VAERS
All
thing
right,
is.
one more.
That shows the power of institutions over individuals, Unc.
But
Absolutely.
I want him to denounce
Damn,
those.
damn.
Hold on, before we get to that third one, can you at least denounce those two conscious conqueror and say that
Why would I denounce them?
because for one, you're not a conspiracy theorist, which was that one dude.
Who says he's a conspiracy theorist?
They got a whole video of him talking about conspiracy theories. You ain't see the source?
And conspiracy theories according to who? According to you.
According to the no, bro.
According to him. According to the
to-
dude, to the coconut doctor.
I call him
Okay, the coconut kind of like you're against Caribbean people when they say coconut doctor.
Oh,
That's
man.
kind of racist. But anyway,
No, ain't no racist. It ain't no Caribbean race. What the hell are you talking about?
when you say coconut doctor, what coconut doctor supposed to mean?
Because he's nuts.
Yeah,
You know
we,
what the hell I mean. You know what the hell I mean.
Man, we're not arguing over them. We're not arguing.
All right.
We're not
Okay,
arguing.
so you want me to denounce the guy who tried to
No, we don't want
save
you-
people
no, we
by
don't.
giving them hydrochloroquine instead of this poison they're giving people that they calling a
Make it
vaccine. It's not
poison.
even a vaccine.
Makes it poison.
I know people that have died after taking this vaccine.
And I ain't died. I got the
personally.
vaccine.
I'm not arguing.
Personally.
I got the vaccine. I didn't die.
Yeah, but that's just you. But
I got
somebody
the
else.
vaccine. He didn't die. Brendan got the vaccine. He ain't died.
Yeah, but there's a percent people are dying from it.
All my whole family got the vaccine. None of them died.
Hey, my whole family didn't get the vaccine. None of them didn't get COVID or died from COVID.
I ain't did. Shit, I ain't did.
And I have a own like
I'm talking about. You said no. Your claim is your whole thing is people getting the vaccine and dying, right?
I'm getting adverse
a
events.
whole bunch of people
Here you
that
go,
got
Kent.
the
Here you go, Kent. This for you, VAERS. Go ahead, Kent, read that.
No, but
And
I
it's
want one
impossible
doctor.
for me
I want
to be
one doctor
racist
for
to
you.
Caribbean people. I got Caribbean people in my family. We can talk.
Everybody freeze for a minute. Everybody freeze. Go ahead, Kent. This is the
VAERS
VAERS.
accepts reports from everyone: healthcare professionals, patients, parents, caregivers, manufacturers, etc.,
And
etc.
anti-vaxxers and drunks and anybody that can report it. But go ahead, Kent.
Regardless,
that falls in the et cetera.
That's etc. I want to name the etc.
So how people supposed to report if things happen to them if things really happen to people with vaccines? How they supposed to report it? Answer that. How they supposed to report it?
I know, relax, brother.
No. This is serious.
Brother, no, it's not serious. We want to finish.
We talk about life and death here.
You're right. We want to finish reading it so we know what it is, so you don't confuse us.
Yeah, but
go ahead,
how
Kent.
else people supposed to report
Let me start over. Conscious Conqueror. Hold on a minute. VAERS accepts reports from everyone: healthcare professionals, patients, parents, caregivers, manufacturers, etc., regardless of the plausibility of the vaccine causing the event or the clinical seriousness of the event.
Hold on. Do we want to see the plausible? Do we need to know what that word is? Do we need to know of the vaccine causing the event? Look, plausible. Do we need to define plausible? Are we all safe here in this?
No, let's go ahead because Conscious going.
We're never safe in this community.
I want to know how you all expect people to report these things.
Plausible, the quality of seemingly.
If you don't really care about people,
or
how
plausibility.
do you expect to report it? So if the
Y'all
vaccine
don't
really
support
causes
the
adverse
plausibility.
events, how you expect to report it?
Bro, we just defining the words.
Yeah, but I don't understand your angle of the fight. Why you
I don't
on
have
that
an
side of the
angle.
fence?
Listen.
I don't understand that.
Listen, I don't have an angle. I'm
So if
defining.
people
Go ahead,
really
Ken.
getting affected by the vaccine.
I know. Let them finish. Hold on. Then it's your turn, bro.
This is the only way for people to report it. Yes, it will have errors in it. But it's the only way.
We can't allow you to misrepresent what VAERS is.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you don't even know what VAERS is. Do you know what VAERS is, brother?
VAERS is the way for people to report if they have any adverse events of anything
Okay.
that
Are you sure?
misdiagnosed.
Are you
Well,
sure?
Well,
Are
read
you
it.
sure?
Educate me.
Thank you. Go ahead. We're gonna educate you. Thank you. Because you've been running around the whole pandemic lying to black people. Mistake though.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with misdiagnosis either. I don't know
Right.
what you're talking about.
Right. He just right. Go ahead, Ken.
Educate me. I might be wrong.
The key
I don't mind being wrong.
The
Go
key
ahead.
strengths are rapidly detects potential safety problems and can detect rare adverse events.
See, we with you with that, brother. We with you.
Yeah.
100%. Everybody on this panel agree.
Right. That's what I was trying to tell them early. Like the adverse events is part of the whole, but we get to it. Key limitations. Passive surveillance system.
inconsistent quality and completeness of information, reporting biases, and generally cannot determine.
They got an arrow right there, Ken, for a reason. Generally cannot determine cause and effect. Do you not see that?
All right. So say 50% of it.
No,
is,
hey, conscious,
false.
hold on.
No, you can't throw out a statistic if you can't back up that statistic.
I'm just saying.
We can't. I don't know where you get 50%. Right? I don't know where your 50% comes from.
All right. So you believe everything people put there is fake?
Not everything. We're not saying everything either.
Don't you have a little bit of adverse events?
So basically what they're saying is correlation isn't always causation.
Causation, that's the first thing.
Right, okay, I agree with that.
Correlation fallacy, that's what you're doing there.
Right.
What that system says, that anything whatsoever happens to you within a month of having received this vaccine, we want you to report it to us so that the scientific method can be applied, which is investigate whether the adverse effect did indeed or does indeed come or is associated with the vaccine. For example, a 95-year-old lady gets the vaccine. She's 95 years old. She dies 2 days later. It is reported to VAERS. Why? Because that was plausible related to the vaccine. When we do the analysis, the lady died of natural causes. She was 95 and she was going to die anyway. But it is reported on VAERS in association with the time frame of the vaccine. And you should ask yourself, why is that time frame limited to about a month, maximum 2, that they use the date? Ask yourself that question.
Right. Okay. So some people, it wasn't adverse events, it was something else. A lot of the data could be wrong. Say 80% of it wrong. The fact that 20% could be right.
Where did you get these percents from?
Right. He's making up stuff at this point, man.
Okay, so you're telling me that nobody.
See, I have an analytical mind, so I can't accept.
Yeah,
I just can't accept people throwing percentages at me, people throwing numbers at me that just come out of thin air because they
okay. So so everybody in VAERS are lying then.
Now you're at the everybody thing.
Because I was just giving you a percentage for argument.
Now it's 100%. Now I'm not gonna say it I'm not gonna tell you 100%. I'm just gonna say everybody, right?
No, but
that's even worse than saying 100%.
I'm giving you percentages for argument's sake.
Hey, conscious conqueror. Hold on for a minute. Listen, actually,
when you next, doctor?
Hold on for a minute. So actually, I actually like. You know, we having fun going back and forth. You're not disrespectful, it's cool. But we actually want to make sure that the listening audience learns off of the mistakes you're making. And hopefully you will learn off of the mistakes you're making. So the first mistake is you're not even using qualified doctors in your statements.
Qualified doctors.
Just let me finish for a minute. Just let me finish, brother. Let me just finish. Come on, yo. We here to actually help each other, man. Because if we miss
you all just don't want to look.
Listen, just listen, bro. Come on, man. I'm actually not even trying to change your mind.
You're not really trying to find the truth, though. That's all I say.
No, I'm not even trying to find the truth because that's not what science does. Trust me.
Let me give you a doctor, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny.
No, listen.
Let's see, she's not a real doctor.
Just let me finish
Dr.
my
Sherry
point. Let
Tenpenny.
you talk. Just let me finish my point, and I'll let you talk.
No problem.
So you've already sent us 2 quacks. We read it.
Wow.
We read it. We read. Listen, we read it. You might not agree with that.
If the human race depended on you, aren't we dead? We all dead.
Hey, listen. So if we can't be cordial, then you gotta go. You're a guest in our house, right? I'm gonna let you speak. But to talk over each other is ridiculous, and it's gonna cause me to cuss your ass out. So what I'm saying is, let's just have the cordial conversation. Relax. So what I'm telling you is, you 2 quacks down, and you're misunderstanding the VAERS surveillance system. You're miseducating people on that. We clearly read what it was. It had nothing to do with anything you were saying. Are you willing to at least admit that you got the VAERS surveillance system wrong? Can you at least admit that? Yes or no? If
I don't understand why you say I got the VAERS surveillance system wrong. So
I'm quiet.
So where do people report adverse events? Tell me where.
Go ahead, Brendan.
Tell me where. Where do people,
Help them.
if I take the vaccine and
Help
something
them.
happened to me and I believe it's
Yeah,
the
we talk
vaccine,
about
where
it's
do I
the, it's the
report it?
VAERS reporting system, right?
So
Exactly
how
where
I
you
get it
report.
wrong? How I get it wrong?
If
That is where you go to
two-
find out what happened.
two weeks after getting the vaccine, you report it to VAERS. If you fall down and you rub your elbow and it starts to bleed, you report it to VAERS. That means it came from the vaccine.
So if we want to put a case against, say we want to challenge the vaccine and say, okay, I believe the vaccine causing adverse events is too dangerous. Where do we get the data from? Where do we get that data from? Tell me where.
Well, people did. In fact, that's how they found out about the issues with some of the vaccines. That's how they found out about the pericarditis and the myocarditis. So it's not like a global conspiracy to hide all negative events concerning vaccines. And in fact, they even tell you, the risk reward and how that information relates to the actual COVID virus. Right. So it's not like a global conspiracy where people are hiding every single thing about it. But what you must understand is that the VAERS adverse events reporting system is like people are posting all type of things. I mean, somebody who doesn't like a vaccine can go on and say, I'm a 40-year-old male who is now pregnant. It's the vaccine's fault. You would likely find it in the list of vaccine complaints. And so some of those, some of the information that they do enter in there do trigger certain investigations, things that may have some level of plausibility to it. And then they go on and look and do the quantitative research that Brendan mentioned to come to those conclusions. They don't, it's a very rigorous process. It's not, and I think that's the big issue, is people don't understand the procedures and processes that must happen to come to these conclusions. It's not an aha moment.
That is the problem with it. That is why they can't have a good case against it, because it's too watered down. It's so much of this, it could be that, it could be all different other things. That's why they can't really, that's what they get in away with this murder. That's what they get in away with it.
So listen.
That risk reward.
Maybe they should fix that system.
Do you understand the clinical trial process is, and that up to 2 years, all those people that took part in the clinical trial of the vaccine are being monitored, tested, and
in the phase 4, right? Yeah.
Adverse effects. Do you understand the process of coming, of how a vaccine comes on the market? Because all these potential side effects are observed, and we are made aware of them almost prior to getting the vaccine. We are aware of the potential risk involved.
Mm-hmm. Right. So Cedric, let's go straight to it. So brother, my question, do you trust the CDC?
No.
Huh?
No, I don't trust the CDC.
I'm asking you a question. No. Do you trust the CDC?
No, I don't trust the CDC.
No. I'm gonna ask you one more time for clarity. Do you trust the CDC?
No, I don't trust the CDC. No.
So if you officially out the game.
Yeah. How am I out the game if I don't trust the CDC?
Okay, I'm going to show you why. So we're going to click here. We're at the actual site. There's VAERS, hhs.gov. We're going to click about VAERS. Right? There's no flim-flammery here. Watch this. About VAERS. Okay. Let's see. What about VAERS? We can just move down here. It says established in 1990, the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, VAERS, is a national early warning system to detect possible safety problems in the USA. U.S. licensed vaccine. VAERS is co-managed by the Center for Disease Control. That would be the CDC, sir.
Very good.
And prevention, the CDC, and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. All the things y'all hate. Let me finish my point. I'm gonna move down here. It says VAERS is a passive reporting system, meaning they're going to explain what the passive is. So meaning it relies on individuals to send in reports of their experiences to the CDC. See, so now you got to trust the CDC, bro, because they send the information there. It say, and FDA, VAERS is not designed. I'm gonna slow it down because y'all wild.
Corrupted.
VAERS, bro, let me finish. VAERS is not designed to determine if a vaccine caused a health problem, but is especially useful in determining youthful or unexpected patterns of adverse event, reporting that might indicate a possible safety problem with vaccines. This way, VAERS can provide the CDC, there's that word again, ladies and gentlemen, and the FDA with valuable information that additional work and evaluation is necessary to further access the problem safety concerns. At this point, yo, you're in checkmate mode and you're crazy. And I'm not saying that you're the person crazy. I'm saying what you're doing is crazy because now you're a walking contradiction. And you know what? I remember in my life when I was a walking contradiction. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I got hold of this new information called consciousness, I was a walking contradiction. And you know what makes you a walking contradiction? Scientific literacy. See, once you become scientific literacy, the world looks different to you. You start to look at yourself and say, I'm a walking contradiction. I'm sitting here promoting VAERS, big up in VAERS, and the next thing, and then I say I don't trust the CDC. But
I never said I promoted VAERS.
Information and evaluates it. So at this point, bro, whether you like it or not, the whole world can see you are a walking contradiction. At this point, I'm mute my mic. Hold on. At this moment, I mute my mic. Don't take the vaccines. Go eat an apple and eat some watermelon or something, bro. I'm not doing it. I'm officially done. Until you stop being a walking contradiction to yourself. I'm done.
I'm a double down before you go in, my brother. Exactly here. I've been illustrating the logical fallacies that we see on display. First of all, you use the VAERS and you use it incorrectly because causation correlation fallacy. You're using the VAERS to substantiate your claim that there are far greater adverse effects of the vaccine that is being reported. And you're using VAERS. In the same breath, the authority, the people who gives us the VAERS, who manages the VAERS, who puts out the information that the VAERS collects, you fundamentally disagree with and don't trust, which is the CDC. Now, we are seeing a logical contradiction here. Irrational thinking, and it is indicative of cognitive dissonance. Your information and your belief doesn't match up.
My belief, okay, all right. Well, when I said VAERS, I wasn't defending VAERS, you know. I was just saying.
Man, we're not gonna let you back out.
Oh God, you see, I talk and you're uninterrupting me. I see, I was quiet.
I apologize. You're right. Go ahead.
All right.
Back out. We're gonna leave. We're gonna be African around here and open up.
It's fine. It's how much only for me. Oh gosh, what advantages? All right. Okay. So when I said VAERS, that was an example of people getting adverse events. It's the only example that have of people reporting adverse events. There's no other example I could go to. I never said it's not corrupted. You just proved my point that it is corrupted because the CDC is the one behind VAERS. That's probably why there's no pushback on the vaccine, because the CDC running it. You're proving the whole conspiracy, the so-called conspiracy you're saying. So you just proving my point, but when you look at that, I was like, great, I'm glad you looked that up.
I do have a question, but I do have a question, right? Because this comes down, I think, because we've talked about, I think, some of the things that you're really expressing, right? In terms of how do you establish the criteria of trust, right? You mentioned that you don't trust the CDC, and that it could potentially be a corrupt organization, right? I do have a question regarding the whole idea about the CDC being a corrupt organization. Why do you make that claim? I'm curious, right, in terms of where would you get that from?
Well, the CDC allowed, if you look back, I don't know what year it was, they allowed this thing called DDT, which was and they said it was family friendly, mosquito spray back in whatever year. They have evidence of these companies not being trustworthy. So
they have made mistakes. Okay, yes. So these are things. These are valid things, right? Okay, well, organizations make mistakes. Science does make mistakes, right? Did science actually correct that mistake in terms of DDT? Can you actually go and like a person that's involved in the pesticide community today, or that business, or that DDT is a pesticide, right?
Yes, it was,
people in that industry who are involved in pest control today, right?
Yeah.
Can you go to the market and purchase DDT, right? No,
Right.
because you know why, right? The science proved that it was not healthy, that it was unsafe.
Right.
The science proved that, right?
Oh, right.
And science corrected itself. And I think that's a lot of what we end up saying is that, okay, well, science is self-correcting, right? So we can't say, okay, well, a past mistake was made. Again, if you tuned in earlier, we talk about the whole idea about science being iterative, right? Making hypotheses, making claims, testing results, see what happens, right? And then you make new claims or new hypotheses based on new data that comes in, right? So we can't freeze ourselves. We can't freeze our mind, right, in a place where, okay, well, DDT was unsafe. The CDC or the organization said it was safe. Right now, we completely can't trust it. You have to be able to sort of move forward with the science itself. If you can kind of understand what I'm saying, you know.
Agree. We had this point, right? I totally agree with that, right?
And at the same time, why do you trust the doctors that you, the first two doctors that you brought?
Right. How did you establish the level of trust exactly for those doctors?
Really trust them. The fact that there's a red flag. Listen, you're talking about something that's being injected into your body.
You say you don't really trust them?
Listen, I don't trust anybody unless they have evidence or facts to bring. I don't trust people. I trust facts and evidence. I trust the scientific method. But I'm saying that these scientific organizations are corrupted. That's my stance on it. Because look at the FDA. They allowed Alzheimer's drug to be passed. I don't know how long ago, and it didn't even work. The FDA did that just recently, a couple of years ago. You trust these people, and especially with Bill Gates behind it. And these people, you really trust listen, there was a lady, a black lady, right? She signed up to get the vaccine. She said she was a white woman. When she went, this is what she said. I could be wrong. It's all red flags. She said she want to get the vaccine, and the woman tell her no, that she's not white. She can't get it. This is for white people. I have a white vaccine and a black vaccine.
So contrary, let me ask you this. You tell us about the red flag. What about the big white flag showing that we've pretty much vaccinated ourselves out of the pandemic? like what about that big old flag that's
but how do you know the vaccine did that, or it wasn't just natural immunity, or it just aired out eventually? If the vaccines work, how it took so long for it to work?
Right. So the vaccines, as well as those who caught it, did help the numbers to reduce. Like the data actually shows that. So let me ask you a quick question.
The data according to who? The same organizations. Just like the Bible. You want to fight about the Bible, you have to use information outside the Bible. You have to use information outside these organizations.
So and there are independent researchers who are also doing these studies. Like nobody's relying on a single organization for the studies, bro.
Great point. Great point.
So I want to ask you this. What do you think happens to vaccine solutions when they're put into your arm? How long do you think they last? If I give you a vaccine,
educate me. I don't know everything. Educate me. You tell me.
No. I don't want to know if you. I just want to know, what do you think happens? You have a preconceived belief already. I want to know what that is.
Well, it depends on which vaccine. I mean, most vaccines. I don't know about the COVID. I don't know about the mRNA vaccine. That's a different type of vaccine. You can't compare the mRNA with the traditional vaccine. You can't be doing that.
Right. So I'm not asking you. I'm asking you. What do you think happens to the vaccine solution once it's in your arm? Do you think it sits in your body for multiple years, or what do you think happens?
Well, okay. Whether I know or I don't know what happens to me, you can answer the question after. Whether or not I know or don't know what happens to me when it goes into my arm, the fact is there's so much evidence that challenges, that shows that this thing could be poisonous. It doesn't work, and it causes adverse events, even death. Why the hell, excuse my French, I would put that in my system?
My brother, you engage in logical fallacy.
But educate me, sir. Tell me how long does it take?
No, you ain't asked the question, man.
I
don't
didn't
know.
ask
I
the
don't know. I don't know. Tell me. I don't know.
I don't want to know if you know. I want to know what is your preconceived thought about it. You got one, and that's what I want to hear.
How long does it stay in my body? How long does it take to
Yes.
work in? How long does the vaccine stays in my body after I put it in?
How long would you think that it stays in the average person's body? What is your preconceived belief on that?
Well, listen, this is a totally guess, uneducated, right? With the boosters that they say is once every 6 months or something like that. Maybe it might stay in my system. According to what the doctors or the mainstream telling us, what, like a few days, a week or something.
So that's what that is your belief? You believe that only stays in a week?
Is this
or
a
two,
wild
or?
guess? I'm not sure. Probably a week or something,
Okay.
at the most. What
Okay.
what's the answer to that?
I'm just saying, I just want to know. I'm not here to give you the answers, but I like that much more than I would like to hear you say 3 to 5 years. So are you under the impression that people who got it years ago are the people that are dropping dead? Or you think these are the people that just now getting the vaccine that are dropping dead secondary to the COVID vaccine?
It's a bit of both, I believe, because the amount of side effects that I have seen listed for this thing is something it happened to people right away. It happened to people a little down the road. It's a bit of both.
Oh, so you think that COVID vaccine side effects are coming back years later?
The effect of it is happening years later. Some effects are different, and then it's not just side effects. What about interactions with other drugs?
Malcolm, I think we skipped a step. Do you understand how vaccines, regardless of the technology, regardless of how it's applied? So forget about mRNA for a second. Do you understand the principles on which a vaccine operates, how a vaccine works, what it does in your body, and what it causes your body to do?
Well, my very layman understanding, because I have very little education, very layman, right? I'm just basing off a logic and these red flags and what other doctors are telling me, right? A vaccine basically, I use the word artificial. No, I'm going to say not artificial, but it artificially immunizes you from whatever virus you're trying to protect against. So
okay,
right.
What is immunization? How does that look? What happens? What's that process?
Well, I said it's totally layman. That process is basically they insert either the virus itself or something just as close as the same virus, and the body was white blood cells, I don't know if it's white or red blood cells, the body immune system creates antibodies to fight that particular virus.
Okay, good. So your body normally and naturally produces antibodies, right?
Correct.
It's something that is natural to your body.
Yes.
Fundamentally. So the vaccine, they didn't actually do anything really to your body. It triggered a natural response that is of your body. So
if the vaccine it is what it is.
Produced are inherently part of your natural biological system.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Hundreds, maybe thousands of infections we know nothing about. The information, the coding, and even sometimes the actual antibodies are present in your body. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now talk about the adverse effects that are caused by the body's natural response, by the IgG and the IgM, the immunoglobulins, the antibodies that are part of the natural process. So we got hundreds of thousands of them.
You're right.
In our body that don't cause no other side effects, don't make us sick, because it is part of our protection system. You explain what adverse effects those antibodies cause.
Well, I don't listen. I don't know what is in the vaccine besides that part of it. I don't know what they use to transfer it. What? Remember they even claim it. Huh?
Water, fat, and amino acids.
Right.
A little bit of salt.
That's the traditional or that's the traditional vaccine or the
No,
mRNA?
that's in the mRNA vaccine.
How you know that for sure? That's all that in it. How do you know that for sure? Would you put your head on a block right now, Cedric, that is in the vaccine? Would you put your head on a block? Because you have to put your head on a block because this is life or death. Why the ingredients are not open for everybody to see for themselves? Why there's so much different brands of vaccine?
We are sure about
Cedric. I want Cedric to answer this. Cedric, why are there different brands of vaccine? Are they all the same ingredients? Answer that,
no.
Cedric. Exactly.
We are sure about the ingredients.
Cedric, answer that.
We are as sure about the ingredients in the vaccine as you are about the ingredients in your cereal.
I understand your point, but why trust the cereal? Listen, I'm a vegetarian, so I very sketchy what I eat and intake.
Man, knock it out. Here you go. Let's do this real quick.
No, but Cedric, answer that. Why do you have different brands of vaccine if all are the same ingredients?
Because different people. I mean, why it's got to be? Come on, bro. Like you know, the world don't work that way.
Answer that, Cedric. Why are there different brands of vaccine if all of them are the same?
First of all, a different brand doesn't necessarily mean that the technology is different. That's number one. Number two, a different brand could mean that the technology is different. No,
Right.
That's the answer.
Right. So you don't know what in them vaccines. That's what the answer is. You don't know because it's different brands.
Do you grow your own food?
No, I'm going to get them right now, Ken.
I try to.
Hold on, you try to, but do you buy from the grocery store?
Listen, I live in Trinidad. They have farms in Trinidad.
Cool. You buy FDA approved shit, right?
No GMO and all them things. I try to avoid it. Yes.
Ain't nothing wrong with GMO, but anyway, you buy everything that's the government approves as okay, right? So at the end of the day, man, like
that the government approves, we have local farmers and things, farmers markets and things.
Yeah, I'm gonna see
them, and you trust them.
Well, the farmers might spray they might spray pesticide, yes. And that's a risk I'm taking. Yeah, I'm taking.
Hold on, say it again. Say that again.
It is a risk I'm taking, huh?
No. The farmers, they spray what?
They could be spraying pesticide on those plants.
They do. Now, here you
go. If I could avoid it, I would, but something you can't avoid. I can avoid the vaccine.
Listen, there's a reason you can't avoid pesticides. Pesticides actually saved humanity, for the record. Right? I know it sounds counterintuitive. I know it's a lot of negative things that happen, right, because of pesticides, and they're trying to make them better. But without them, you wouldn't make it. And to back my point, right, I'm tired of hearing people say this all the time. Y'all put this in your Pseudo Killas folder right here. All right, this is a .org site, right? And it says, look at this, sustainability. What if farmers did not use pesticides? This is from 2020. Now look, if we just come right here real quick, all right? We want to come right here and let me read this portion right here. Hold on, where's it at? I want to read this guy from Penn State real quick. Here you go. Pesticides in general term, a general term that covers three broad areas of crop production, explains Jeffrey Gaybill. It's an extension editor in astronomy at Penn State University. Insecticides control worms, right? First of all, the worms eat all the food up, bugs, and other insects that can easily consume crops in the field or grains and food and storage. So when you store the food, you have a problem with them bugs eating that. It say herbicides will control and prevent weeds from overcoming the crop and lowering the harvest. It say, and fungicide prevents and controls disease which attacks our crops. These are major things that happen when you're trying to feed 8.5 billion people. You see, all right? We're not talking about a couple hunter-gatherers, and that's not what it is now. That's not, so we have problems we need to fix, right? And so if I just come right here real fast to the experts, right? There's a whole section right here from experts, okay? About the experts, and you read just read on all the experts, Loaded. Look, read up on them. Farmers, PhDs in farming and all that. Something we need to do before we start running our mouth and just pages and pages and pages of experts. Why do they have pages and pages of experts? Because it's important, right? You come to this right here, and I'm gonna end with this, right? You got categories, recipes, word of the week, science, gene editing, sustainability, videos, food, right? Experts, right? Lifestyle, all this stuff is here, right? But I want to push this tab real quick. Science. So right here, look. Here you go. It says the unknowns of CBD, infused foods. Okay, what is CBD? Okay, is it safe to eat? Easter eggs, right? You know, dyes and stuff you put in there. 5 things you might not know about soybeans. So I suggest everybody go get this. This is a great site right here, man. Genetically engineered, because you just talked about that, brother. You talked about genetically engineered salmon on the market, right? Let's talk about that. Gluten-free wheat may change bread.
Our article says so.
I hate to break it to you, bro, but half that food that you think is organic is really GMOs too. Like they just label it organic, but that's a whole nother.
No, well, organic and well, right. What the one that's so-called organic? Organic to me is if I grow it in my backyard.
You're still alive and you're still healthy. So I mean, you just know that you've eaten some GMO food, even though you think you eating all vegetarian and all that.
And I think as well, what we have to understand, especially regarding some of the questions about the vaccine that the brother was asking, those are valid questions. Right? I know some people are vaccine hesitant, some people are anti-vax, whatever spectrum that you rely on, that you sit on, right? Some of these questions can be answered by your personal physician, right? Okay. Don't, again, as on this channel, we pride ourselves by pointing people to the experts, right? If you have a personal physician, again, let me finish. If you have a personal physician, a board qualified personal physician, they can answer a lot of the questions that you may have, right? And I think, I was actually reading a study online. They were saying that people who have vaccine hesitancy, right, they can actually get over some of the issues that they have by having these in-depth personal one-on-one conversations, right, in front of their doctors, right? So that's what I would recommend for anybody that has a lot of these questions outside of you, brother, because again, we've got other people sort of listening to this and they were going to listen on the replay, right? Have a conversation with your physician as well. Like, for instance, I had a question regarding, okay, in terms of boosters, it's like, when should I take a booster? Which one should I take, right? I had different combinations of boosters so far, right? And I'm looking online in terms of some of the information, and you know what? It dawned on me, let me call my personal physician, right? And my doctor told me exactly what I needed to do and how to move forward, right? So again, let's always rely on credible experts, right? Here in this community, that's what we do, right? So because you can't say that, okay, if you don't trust your personal physician, I hope you have one, brother, right? If you're to the point where you can't,
we have doctors here again,
right?
Dr. Alexander, I had doctors who also were part of the whole movement down here. I have naturopathic doctors that against it. Plenty doctors to show you all. Look at this article I put in the back chat here on
now, I don't know about anything about a naturopathic. I don't know. I'm talking about board certified doctors. Right? I'm not talking about it.
One is naturopathic. All right.
I'm talking about actual doctors, right? So don't talk to me to right. I'm not talking about the Sabiites.
Look at this article here from
credible doctors.
Click the link I just put on the back chat and just read that. That's an article. On official site. Just read that article. Tell me what y'all think.
We gotta take it home, man.
No, man.
Our article there. Our nice article I put in the back chat.
No. Brought up bears. He brought up bears, and then after y'all went through all his doctors and all that stuff, he started beating up bears. Come on, dog.
I bring up VAERS because that's the only thing that has evidence of
No,
adverse
man.
events.
No,
You see,
when you found out that the CDC was involved, then you started talking about, oh, that's what it is. It's backed by
I
the
would still
CDC
use
and all this.
VAERS. I would still use
Man.
VAERS as an example, but the fact that it's corrupted by the CDC.
Put that rabbit in that hole back up on the screen, doctor. That's what we
You all really want to educate people. You all have to be fair on both sides. You all can't be one-sided. You all have to hear the next side too.
Oh, we hear you. That's why we let you on the panel. We listen.
But he's saying he's saying I beating up VAERS. I never beat up VAERS. VAERS is the only place you can go for adverse events.
But you said it was a problem because it was the CDC. Man, Unc went over VAERS.
I never says a problem because of the CDC. I never says a problem because of the CDC. I'm saying because CDC is there, they can be hiding a lot of facts.
Are you reading this article?
Yes.
Yeah, this is what you want to do.
Let's go back down to the title. Let's go to the title. Go back up to the title. Okay. So now.
Hold on, wait. What do you want us to get out of this? We want to see if it match up though. What you saying to say, bro?
Immunization with SARS coronavirus vaccine leads to pulmonary immunopathology.
What is that?
Pathology on challenge with SARS virus.
You know what that means? Seriously. Because I
you're expert in this. I want to hear what you all have to say.
Wait, man, why you telling me?
What it mean, though, man? Come on, man.
Hey, let's look it up.
I never claimed to be an expert, you know.
No, but what it mean, though? Because you gave us that.
Pathology. Hold on. Immune pathology is a branch of medicine that deals with the immune responses associated with disease. Okay. So hold on. We're gonna do this. How we do it, yo. So back down. So we're talking about something that deals in response to immunity, right? That's what we just read, right? Okay. On challenge with the SARS virus. What do you say?
The SARS is COVID.
I know, yo. Come on, pulmonary. It says immunization with SARS, right? Coronavirus vaccine leads to pulmonary immune pathology on challenge with the SARS virus. So you put that in there and say what though?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to add. What's the
pulmonary relating to the lungs? Okay. All right, let's go back.
You teaching them what he put in there, yo. You ain't even letting them.
What wrong with that? What wrong with teaching me? What wrong with teaching me?
Why you give us this? Go ahead. Then we're gonna let Cedric get you.
I want Cedric to get me.
I know why you put it there.
Why are you? What was we supposed to get out of that? What you put in there?
Vaccine fight.
It's showing you that the vaccines causing problems with the respiratory system.
Okay.
Look at your date, bro.
Here you go.
Date, bro.
Here you go. Go ahead and read this. Somebody read this.
I get it. Conclusion.
Okay, go ahead. You read it for yourself.
From conclusion.
Go ahead.
These SARS-CoV vaccines all induced antibody and protection against infection with the SARS-CoV. However, challenge of mice given any of the vaccines lead to occurrence.
Stop.
Wrong virus, bro.
Let him finish.
Lead to occurrence of
where we are right here. Stop. I need you to understand.
Cyber sensitivity.
Let him finish. He's a mouse now. Go ahead, yo.
Cyber sensitivity to SARS-CoV components was induced. Caution in proceeding to application of a SARS vaccine in humans is indicated. Caution, because it makes it hypersensitive. That means that you have to keep taking the vaccine over and over and over again.
Wait. Hold on.
Keep taking the vaccine every 6 months is a booster.
Relax. Hey, yo, relax. It says SARS-CoV vaccines all induce antibodies and protection against infection with SARS-CoV. Then it goes on to say, however, challenge of mice given any of the vaccines led to occurrence of I guess that's type 2.
Oh, type 2, yeah.
Immune pathology suggesting hypersensitivity to SARS-CoV components was introduced. It say caution in proceeding to application of SARS-CoV vaccine
in humans
is
indicated warnings in the early 2002. Look how far back.
Can you have the floor for a minute?
relax. What's the date on this?
2012.
2012. Hey,
For the
listen, bro.
This
Can
before
you
the
help us?
pandemic, yo.
Can you help
This
us
is the
out?
same SARS flu vaccine.
No, that's a difference. No, that's
Flu
SARS.
vaccine.
Coronavirus is two set. That's not CoV-2, bro.
According to Cedric, all the vaccine is the same, man. Right.
Oh, shit. No, I don't
Right.
You reaching, bro.
Oh, you're talking about this is the flu virus, right? This is the flu vaccine. Right? Which this is the flu vaccine, which you already admitted, said I don't have any problem with the flu vaccine.
I never
Earlier,
said,
when you
I never
initially
took a
jumped
flu
on,
vaccine.
you
Measles
said I'm
and
not
small-
really
measles.
concerned about the flu vaccine.
I
I'm
have
concerned
problems with
with
the flu vaccine. Yes, all flu vaccines. All flu.
okay.
All flu vaccines.
You know we got the tape. You know we have the tape.
Rewind it back. Rewind back the tape. I said traditional.
Is he serious, Cedric? Is he serious?
When I say traditional, I mean like for measles
No,
and
no,
not flu. Anything that mutates. No vaccine. You can't vaccine.
Why you give us that?
Flu virus.
Hey, bro,
But why you give us that? Why you give us that from 2012?
Because it's the
Ain't even
same
had nothing-
Right back.
Wait.
nothing to do with what we, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it
but
ain't-
Wait a minute.
You see,
SARS,
you're not seeing what
listen,
the show
bro. Hey, bro.
Wow,
I'm not going to do
wow.
this. You just gave us a paper on SARS coronavirus. That's not what we're going through now, bro. That's two different things, bro. I hope you know that.
Oh,
We have the novel SARS-CoV-2. That's a whole different thing, bro. Like, you gotta stop that, yo.
Oh, that's a whole different
That's
thing.
in 2012, and then you talk about mice. That's
Okay.
damn near 20 years ago. I mean, is you serious, right?
Yeah, but you're already ones that
Hold on,
compare
are
the
you a
old
mouse?
vaccine
Are
with
you
the
a
new
mouse?
vaccine too.
10 years ago.
No, bro, stop. A mouse
Yo.
is a long way away from humans. We do use mouse and in vitro and test tubes. We do all that, bro. But yo, so if they seen a problem in mice, you don't think 20 years later, yo, they ain't thought about that and worked on that? Yo, they just left it there. What you think, bro? It's two separate things at this point. You gotta
Alright.
stop. You killing
You're
yourself.
hoping they do that. You're hoping.
Brother, just a second,
I saw he sucked me back into it. I'm sorry, Cedric.
People look bad, number one, because you're showing comprehension issues. I asked you if you understood what clinical trials was, and how they are set up, the methodology. So from the time you read the word mice, an alarm bell should have rung off in your head that says we're in the early stages of testing. Without going into the flawed aspect of this is not the COVID SARS-2 vaccine or process you're talking about. From the time you read the word mouse, you should have known that we were in the early stages of clinical trial testing. After mice are tested, primates is a step up, and then the process, if everything there goes according to the predictions, then the next step up is testing with a small group of humans, and then increasing the size, and then going into specific areas like infants and elderly people. Okay, that is the process. So when you read mice, you should have taken a step back. And the last line says everything. Proceed with caution when testing on humans, because we encounter these side effects. So what the scientists will do, they will go back and minimize these effects that we see in the mice, or they would move forward and see if the same observations are made in the next step up in the clinical trials.
Why is he listening to that then? But I want to know, why the hell is he listening to that? Because that's a scientist telling you that. Give me the mechanism that allows you to trust them when they say something you agree with and works on your confirmation bias, but yet you don't believe when they say we worked it out. What are you using here, bro?
I don't have to trust it where it comes into my body, but that's a piece of evidence.
That's not what I asked.
Ignore it.
That's not what I asked.
When I say trust, I talk about trust enough to put something in
my
body.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you, why you trusting these group of scientists?
I never said I trusted them, but the
You just
evidence
did.
is
You gave us
there.
that. All right,
If
look.
somebody come and tell me, oh, somebody killed somebody down the road, boy, I
Ladies and
trust them. I don't trust them. I have to
gentlemen,
see if I get evidence, but I will listen to what they're saying.
No problem, bro. We're gonna get you next time. We got you. Hold that. Get some more dot.
One more fair. Look up at the back chat.
You know one more thing.
This one is a big one.
No, it's not. We'll get the big one next show.
This is the biggest one. I swear, last one. I promise. Last one.
I swear you want that blood glad
the sweetest one.
He's done. Hey man, look, man, it's been a powerful show, man. We appreciate the brother coming on, man. I had fun with you, Conscious Conqueror, yo. That was a good. I wanted to add a little flavor at the end of the show. You know what I mean? Brendan didn't stop us, so he must have been having fun too. Appreciate everybody that came through, man. Appreciate the knowledge and the wisdom, man. Any closing words? How about you, Malcolm? Any closing words, man? Real quick. Something quick.
Yeah, man. Great show, man. It was, to some degree, a reminder. Hoping the listeners got something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Share the video. Let people know the Pseudo Killas is in the building. Uncle mentions all the time, man. Signs undefeated, man. One person ain't finna overthrow the entire body of signs. So this super savior complex, man, y'all can throw it away. It's just not real, man. We appreciate y'all coming out. I always enjoy it, man.
Absolutely, man. Hey, how about you, Cedric?
Ideology and emotions cloud your ability to reason properly. Engaging in scientific literacy is fundamental to support and build critical thinking. This is why we do what we do. It allows our people to identify the bullshit coming from far away.
Well, how about you, Kent? With Kent gone, where you at, Kent?
I'm right here, man. Hey, man, y'all stay tuned, man. Hey.
Fly setup, yo. That's a fly setup, yo. I'm getting that.
Oh, yeah. This is
about $500.
This is just the beginning, man.
Yeah, that's fly material.
I appreciate all the audience, man. People that come in and check us out every week, man, and the moderators, everybody, man. Appreciate everybody on the panel, man. Y'all know y'all make this thing special. And, we going to keep on pumping the scientific literacy or the science literacy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Anthony, what's good, man? Talk to us, man. Get these people out of here, man.
Yo, I just want to say thank everybody for coming out. Great show, gentlemen. Great Discord. Hey, and y'all need to get into that Pseudo Killas Discord server. Be going down in there. And Space Age Africans Astronomy Club. Here we come, baby. Peace out.
Yeah, you got a good class in there, man. A Conscious Conqueror, man. What you want to say? Not that big thing, but what you want to say?
Thank you for having me on the show for the discourse. Even though I know y'all don't want to hear the truth, because you're already take the vaccine. Who wants to know they have poison in the system? But I appreciate the discourse. Peace and love. But you see that last one I put up, that's a big one. All right, yeah.
Hey man, I appreciate the level of respect you show when you come on the show. You're welcome anytime. Bring your friends. Everybody come on. This is how we have a discourse. I appreciate you, man. How about you, Brendan, man? Anything to say, man?
And high level conversations, right? Last couple shows, we're talking about scientific terminology, making those definitions, defining that, right? Tonight, the scientific method, right? Where do we go from here, right? So I'm thinking there were some threads in the conversation tonight that is sort of giving me an idea, right? Critical thinking to me, I'm writing my notes down, critical thinking skills, right? I'm thinking that's a really, really good segue maybe into a next conversation, right? In terms of the importance of critical thinking, right? Just at a very, very broad sense there. But I think, it was a great show. Peace to everybody that joined the panel, especially, all right? Peace to the moderators, peace to the chat, everybody that tunes in. Again, Pseudo Killas, we at war.
Peace, a shout out to CK the poet, critical thinking, logical fallacies, that's her game.
I'm thinking maybe a critical thinking deep dive.
Video is coming.
So yeah.
She's coming. We haven't seen the videos lately. So I would just like to say, man, I actually appreciated conscious conversation. And I remember being in the same space he was in about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I had to like catch myself, right? Like over the last maybe 2 years or something, I had to realize, yo, that we all had pseudo beginnings and we all had these confirmation biases. And it was not until we had science that we realized we was actually a walking contradiction. I had to go back to them days, realize I was a walking contradiction. And I remember when I got scientifically literate, a lot of things that I was confirming with my confirmation bias fell to the wayside because I don't want to be a walking contradiction, man. I want to be able to help the people, right? So it's actually not a shame to make the mistakes that we make, right? It only becomes a shame when the mistakes have been brought to you and you have been shown that you're misusing a source like theirs or an article or all that, you know what I'm saying? Where it becomes a problem, man. So we appreciate everybody to come to the show. I see you got that tank. We stand in them tanks. We won't be cussing nobody out, right? We kick back having fun, man. We appreciate everybody. We're not going to talk about people. We're not doing none of that to get the crowd. What we will do is bring y'all good, solid information. We always up for the high-level conversation using science as a top priority. We appreciate everybody that's been supporting us over the years, man. We're here, man. This show is always powerful, right? You can share the show with all your family. It's a family-friendly show, right? Share that with all your friends, man. Tell them, hey, man, go over there to the Pseudo Killas, man. They got something real special. Right? Tell them that we said, come holler at us. Science is counterintuitive. We appreciate all that, man. Appreciate all the fans, appreciate the cash apps, appreciate all the support, appreciate the support to the stores. If you ordered a shirt or something like that, it's on the way to you. I guarantee you with that, man. With that, man, check this out, people, yo. Pseudo Killas on deck, man. Pseudo Killas official, man. And y'all know what it is.